When we got Tottenham away. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away.
Oh my goodness. Let me email Charlie this link. Charlie, I'm gonna email you this link. Give me 1 second.
Sorry, guys. We were having technical difficulties. And much like Spurs' performance today, we started out optimistic and strong and then just fell apart.
Exactly. And it's none of our faults. I'm not gonna say who, Stell, who messed it up, who crashed our link, but Stell, we are back. We had 100 people. Now we have 32. Hopefully 100 people and more will come back. Smash the like.
Is that the link in the chat?
Yeah.
Or is that the old link?
It's for Charlie to come on.
Okay.
Yeah.
What happened to Matt?
I sent Matt like these until we lost Matt. Forever Spursy. All right, we get. Oh my goodness.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
This is what trouble looks like. Trouble
Oh my
just
God. Absolutely. All right, you know what? We'll have a neutral. Come on. And
I'm not neutral. Yeah, I'm definitely not neutral.
You know what? Whenever he's, we're trying to get him to come on somewhere, he always comes on super late and he says, "I fell asleep. I overslept." And then now it's like whenever we lose or we draw, it's like he comes on smiling, bright and bushy-tailed, awake and alert.
That happened. That happened once, DQ. That happened once.
No, that did not happen just once. Every time that you've ever been like, if people are expecting you to come on, you're always like, for some sort of debate, some side of mudding, you're always like, I overslept.
No, okay, but I'm never invited to these shows because it's more of a Spurs show. We have, North London is our show, but I saw it and I couldn't resist,
Stefan, who invited you?
Nobody. I invited myself, guys.
You saw the link.
That was me because
I couldn't resist.
Stell messaged me like in the middle of the day saying if I wanted to come on. I was like, yeah, why not?
We're waiting for Matt, but we're gonna start. Yeah, Stell has he has bottled it, and hopefully we'll get 100 plus more. I can't believe this.
Guys, when we start, I just want to ask you just a quick question. Did you think it was a foul on Vicario?
Not today. The Man City one, yes, but today, no.
We're actually gonna get to that. It's part of my rant, but since everybody's here, let me start the show before something else happens. I just want to give a big up. I apologize for we had a lot of people on the show and wanted to give a big up to, but I'll give a big up to Todd Spur. Well, Charlie's here. Philly. No, it's not Marty's internet. Nope. Big up Philly. No. It was Stell who crashed the show. Everybody can vouch for it. Stell crashed the show. It's not my internet. My internet's been working.
If that's so, where is Stell? Where is Stell?
No. CQ, you should ask that question because whenever Spurs lose or go through a bad phase, Stell isn't the most. He's not.
Are you calling
missing.
to come outside?
He goes missing.
You should see him on We Are Tottenham TV. Oh, he.
Oh yeah, true. I actually saw that clip, and
well,
he did his usual.
Timo Werner. Stell might be busy, but we've let you stay on. So,
Maury, is that why my link wasn't working? Because Stell messed it up or something?
Yeah, it crashed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my link was the same.
Yeah. Big up, Rob. I just want to say this was not my fault or Charlie's fault. Oh, this one.
Not this.
Charlie, first
That's
time he
That's a long.
Tottenham.
That's a long
away.
time ago now.
Yeah.
He crashes the stream
Wow,
with
look at we got a full house. Big
Scott.
up, Rob.
How you all doing?
Big up Scott. Big up JJ.
Fine.
Big up Daniela. Daniela was the first one to post. We're back. Yes. Stay humble. JJ. Big up. Stephen. John. Who's in the house? Who else is in the house? Gosh, we lost so many people. Mark. Joe. Joe's in the house. And big up more people. We're going back to our numbers. But once again, we apologize. These things happen, and we're ready to rock and roll. Not my internet. I just want to get this off my chest. I'm the moderator, and I'm gonna let you all go. But I'm gonna just say 3 just simple things. And the first question is 2-2 draw. Is it fair? I'm gonna say this, right? In all perspective, as Matt has said, and Matt hopefully will come back. I sent him the link. It is year 1, right? Already exceeded my expectations, and I kind of need to apologize to Villa, but then against one game, Villa showed their teeth. So it's really going to be a battle between us and Villa. But then again, it may not even matter because if Liverpool wins the Europa League, I'm not even saying City, if City wins the Champions League, but if Liverpool, who are favored to win the Europa League, we get the 5th spot over Serie A team. So I'll go with that. But to go back to my original point, the first 18 minutes, I thought we controlled and dominated the game. And then after that, it was just complete chaos. For me, that really got me upset is, and Ange is going to have to, because I'm glad this channel, we support Ange, but we'll criticize Ange. We're not blind followers, right? We're not blind followers. We will criticize when it needs to be done. But City gave a blueprint in regards to how to rattle Vicario, especially on set pieces. In regards to, and I've heard this said before, and I heard this said by actually Manuel Neuer. Goalies are allowed to bump back, right? To fight. I know Vicario is tall and skinny. If we're not going to protect him and put a defender in front of him, then Vicario is going to have to man up and fight for his spot, because City gave a blueprint, right, on that last goal of a set piece on how to disrupt him on set pieces. The last game, Brentford did the same thing, and Everton did it many times, many times, scoring one goal in bumping them. Now, if you want to call it a foul, I don't think it's a foul. I just think it's just smart play. Just like in the City game, it wasn't a foul in my book. I just think we need to do better in set pieces, in defending. We're playing teams like Arsenal. We got Stefan here. Arsenal actually leads in set piece goals, to my knowledge. So we're playing the teams who are going to look at that City blueprint and going to say, oh, you know what? There is a way to rattle Vicario. Bump him. Cause chaos in front of that box. So we're going to have to improve better than that. The second point I want to say is our midfield is, I don't know if Bentancur rushed back or whatsoever. Our midfield is not playing well. It's not helping the defense. I know people are going to talk about the defense. BDB was amazing. To be fair, Romero's game today, it was yin and yang, because I see the good things that he does, but then there were a couple things I was just like, Romero. But then again, this is good. We brought in Dragosin. This is what competition does. It makes us play better. And so I'm going to leave that as that. But our midfield has to be better.
Can I just say something? I want to interrupt something. So stay humble. Appreciate the love and everything, but we're not going to read out your super chat because I've been noticing this in general. We all know that I kick off with Stefan all the time because, and call him a fraud all the time. But, we stream together. But I've been noticing a lot whenever we have like North London is ours, shows or whatever, wherever he's on, you guys are making a lot of personal attacks on him. And we're all friends here. It's all cool. Like, we debate and stuff. Like, he's a good guy outside of the fact that he's a fraudulent gooner. But like, we're not going to take any like personal attacks on like any of the panelists. Okay.
CQ, guys. It's fine. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine about the comments. I don't really care. I only get triggered by one person, as you guys know who he is. I only get the comments. I really don't care. Like, you guys don't need to see it. It's a super chat. You can read it out. It's fine. They can attack my looks.
I just don't think.
Oh wait, he paid. He paid to say that.
No, but I'm just saying. I just don't think that that's. I just don't think that that's the way that we should conduct ourselves. So it's not just about you, Stefan. It's just in general.
It's fine. It's fine.
Thank you for saying that. I was so into my man. I didn't even see on the chat that, guys, let's keep it classy. Let's keep it classy. Debate the point, not the person. The next point I want to just say is that, and gosh, I know people have been like, man, Mari, you're being negative, you're being harsh on Johnson.
Yeah, he was
right now, because we have no depth, Johnson has to play. But right now, Johnson is not. He's just not cutting it. Timo Werner. There was one sequence, I think, on the 41st minute, where even if it was an offsides goal, but it was offsides, the shot that came off of Timo Werner, it was pathetic. I was like, oh,
Mari, that's harsh. It was actually a good save. Like, if you get a replay, he connected with the ball wall. I think the criticism, it was offside, guys. It was clear offside.
All right. Let me finish my point. But the forward line, like I said the other day, do I trust it? Minus Richarlison, who's going through maybe a prolonged purple patch. I have to give him credit. I have to give those 2 goals were quality 2 goals. And so I have to give him credit. I don't think anybody can hate on Richarlison today. Not today. Right? I could say, yes, he has 10 goals. Let's hope he has 20 so we can sell him in the summer. Or if he stays on the team, he comes from the bench and we still go for a striker. But we cannot in our right mind say anything wrong on the Charleston other than his hold-up play is still terrible. But like I say, he scored 2 quality goals, so I'm going to give him credit for that. But this game is, to wrap it up, it sucks because it's just dropped points. Dropped points because our midfield is not playing well. Our defense, I still have questions about Ange at the end of the game. It's discouraging when he pulls out Madison. He pulls out Bentancur first instead of Højbjerg. Højbjerg has been horrible. I'm trying to be nice and controlled because an hour ago I spoke to Alex on the phone because he couldn't make it, and I just unleashed. I'm actually being calm, but Højbjerg is horrible. I think Ange had it wrong. I think he should have started Skip and let Højbjerg maybe come in the second half rather than Højbjerg start and then you bring on Skip. It's just I have
Mari, was it box office Alex you spoke to?
Yeah, box office Alex. I have so much points to go on, but we have a packed crowd. I'm just going to pass it on in order. We got C Cube and Unleash. Is 2-2 a fair draw? Is the draw fair? Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it's fair. I thought Everton played well, actually. They just were missing some quality in the final third, which, I mean, that would be the case. I mean, given what the players that they have and what they have available and everything. So they just lacked, clinicalness in the final third, but they actually played pretty well. They played a lot more offensively and pressed more than I would expect a Dyche team to do. They actually came out and played a lot more. And so I was surprised by that and also impressed by that. I think that they set up their tactics pretty well against us. Dyche was clearly watching what we, how we conceded against Man City in the cup game. They were aggressive they've always been pretty strong in corners, set pieces anyways, but they were particularly strong and they were basically bullying Vicario in goal. And we know that Dyche does his research because before our last game with Everton, he was spotted in our stadium watching our game. So he was there 2 days or 3 days before our game against them. So yeah, so he's doing his research and they set up pretty well. And yeah, I think that given the lack of clinicalness they have in front goal, I think that a 2-2 draw was very fair.
Okay. Adrian, 2-2 draw, is it fair?
Yeah, it was. See, we need a bit of clarity from referees, don't we? We've had a few incidents where players have come together with goalkeepers, let's say, right? Liverpool game, there was one. There's others, I'm sure others you can mention all that. Sometimes free kicks are given, sometimes they're not. That's what's frustrating for fans. Everton worth a draw. I'm not going to knock it for that over those decisions, right? I'm not going to do it there. I mean, we're all aware here, right? We all know our stuff. So, and we're all aware that most games are won and lost in midfield. And our midfield today was crap. Maddison was good in patches, but and if you don't win the midfield battle, you're going to lose most of your games. You are, unless you play long ball football. And what Everton did, similar to what Brentford did the other day, was when there seemed that all hope was lost, instead of keeping their shape, they just, every time they got a free kick or whatever, Pickford would come up, he would kick it. They were just launching balls into the box, hopeful balls, but it paid off. And when we played Brentford at home, that was a bit different with Brentford because they just threw, we've all seen the games when your manager brings on 2 or 3 strikers in the end because you're 2 goals down and you think, lose it 3 or 4-0 or try and snatch a draw or something. And Brentford just threw loads of bodies forward. And we're being naive, guys. We should be able to cope with that. And Vicario should be able to cope with those situations. He's a goalkeeper. Goalkeepers take knocks, right? He should cope with that. I remember when I use an analogy like when Bill Nicholson was asked once, they said to him on an offside decision, said, was the player interfering with play? The offside rule was different then. And Bill Nicholson said, if he wasn't interfering with play, he shouldn't be on the field in the first place. And Vicario has commanded his area. And I've seen his podcast today. I've seen 2 contrasting tones from podcasts, all well-intentioned Spurs fans. One is saying our defender should protect the goalkeeper and he's at fault. Another saying, no, he should do more. Well, Vicario's looked at himself in other games. He's been very commanding, but he's been a brilliant signing, right? So we come to 2 games. Prior to the last 2 games, we hadn't conceded from a corner all season. So you either go glitch or not, right? And he's not a bad goalkeeper. But when it comes to those areas in the box, and clarity over the rules would be, we've all been, I'm sure Stefan's seen some poor refereeing decisions in Arsenal games this season. Who hasn't? You want clarity over the rules at times, like handball and things offside.
It's a complete joke.
If you're offside by a nasal hair or something shit like that, it's a joke. So, and we want to see good football. Vicario's he's a top-class goalkeeper. Most of the teams in the Premier League are taken, probably apart from Liverpool, Man City, right? So, he's a top-class goalkeeper. And he's not small either. He's not a wimp. You can't be a wimp. If you're not brave, you never become a goalkeeper in the first place. Because you're going to be diving at people's feet like he did away at Arsenal and things like that. So he's not a wimp. This is probably his decision. He's 27. He's mature enough. I mean, like his decision making in a couple of games, he's probably got it wrong. But you know, you let it go. He's a good goalkeeper. And as for our front three, do a synopsis on the front three. Listen, Brennan Johnson wouldn't have as much game time in his side. He's coming as a young player. He would have been drip-fed game time in his squad. But we've had so many injuries that he's got more game time than he should have. And I think he needs a bit of time to develop. But when you're paying nearly £50 million for a player, I expect him to be oven ready, right? Straight in that team and not, you know, we're not a training scheme for footballers, right? We've got an academy for that, a very good one, right? And so like that is annoying, right? That is annoying. Johnson, Werner's done okay since he's come in. Piss poor shot today, I might add. I mean, I've heard coaches turn around and say, look, I'd rather you take a shot and it go wide of one of the posts than hit it straight at the fucking goalkeeper, right? Because at least you got a chance it might creep in a corner or something, right? Now, I mean, so Werner, I want to see him get some goals. Because if you're playing wide for us, you know, a good strike rate for a wide player is 1 in 4, 10 goals a season. I'd expect that of Kula, I'd expect that of Johnson, I would expect that of Werner, right? Because you need them goals. You to win the Premier League, right? Since 1992, your team has to score on average 82 goals a season. But the last 10 seasons, it went to 87 goals a season because Man City have scored over 100 goals in a couple of those seasons. So they've upset the apple cart a bit, right? So that's why, you know, going to this game, when people are talking us going on to points or losing points or we won't win the league anyway, we weren't going to win the league anyway, guys, as much as I'd want to.
I just need to interject. TFCH for life. Can we focus just on the game? If you're going to keep focusing between Steph and the C Cube, I'm going to have to time you out, bro. I'm going to have to time you out.
Let him, man. He's
no, I mean, I know. Here's the thing, Stefan. I know that you're like, let him, but it's not just about 10 or like 10 in a row.
Yeah.
Personal attacks.
C-cube.
That's not. No. 10 in a row personal attacks without any football talk whatsoever. You know, you can call it names or whatever, but it's just like it gets old after a while. You're spamming the chat. You guys are spamming the chat.
No, he's spamming. He's letting out his bad energy because he's living in his.
No, but he should be banned.
Maury, just put.
No, we're not going to ban them.
Maury, put them in timeout or something.
Yeah, no, that's about to.
Stay humble. I already put stay humble in a timeout. I think stay humble is fine now. He's chilled out. But
no, stay humble is cool. It's just
it's cool now.
CHFC for
somebody else is fighting stay humble battles for him or something, because as if he needs to have somebody else fight his battles.
Yeah,
and stay humble. I understand. Like I said, I understand you're a member and whatsoever. And I know you get heated regards to Stefan. And you know what? I will, because Stefan said I can read it. I will read it because you paid for it. But my problem is with THFC, you are now taking it to a different level. Like,
guys, just focus on football.
I want to go back to
I just want to say, I just want to say to my two fanboys, stay humble, and I forgot his name, TFJC. I love you guys. Thank you for your support. Keep watching the show. Keep subscribing so you can up the views for Tottenham away. Love you guys. Keep trolling, and please try and move out of your mom's basement in the next 3 to 4 months, please. Like, come on, guys, please.
Thank you for the super chat. There's a reason.
I mean, today, it was hard for me watching that game to single out individual criticism. You can criticize the goalkeeper for perhaps not doing a bit. You could criticize Kulusevski, you know, for the free kick, blah, 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 and all that. But that wasn't the problem, guys. The problem was we underperformed in so many areas. So many areas. Our two wide players, Johnson was non-existent. Werner, like I say, had that one shot. Ange picked two wide players right? Because he loves to hug the touchline because there's always plenty of room, but no one got the ball to them. Their midfield didn't function. No one got the ball to them. So, like,
Adrian, because we have a lot of
and Murray, just to pick up on you and Højbjerg, and then I'll shut up, right?
Okay, yeah, because I want to get to the others.
Højbjerg got in the team because he was one of the few players that played well against Brentford. He earned his game time today. But this is our problem, consistency. Technically, he's not good enough to play for us. He does well. He comes on as a sub at times. He helps us see out the odd games in the past. Technically, Denmark used him to his best attributes, right? But he doesn't suit Ange ball, Okay.
Yeah. We're going to go to Big Up, Lennon White Lane in the house. Rob, your views on the game?
Yeah, I think 2-2 was a fair result, to be 100%. So I think we created a little bit more open play than Everton. I mean, both their goals came from set pieces. But one of my worries is that we could become a predictable side. You saw what Brentford did in the first half. Thankfully, Ange made some great subs at half-time, changed the game around, sat back three, narrow, and made it really, really difficult for us. And we really struggled against that today. We really struggled dealing with Everton's set pieces. So if you're a team preparing to play Spurs, for example, maybe not Brighton because they tend to stick with their way of playing and style of play. But if you're Wolves in a couple of weeks, you're thinking, okay, target Vicario from set pieces, sit back narrowly. And that could be a style of play a lot of teams try and play against us because it's worked in a few different games at points. But I think, look, a few good performances today. Mickey van de Ven, I thought was absolutely superb. I don't think we'd be able to play the high line without him. I really don't. His recovery pace is so great. It really is. Just his tackling is absolutely brilliant. I think Udogie, as I say, I've seen a few people criticising him. I actually thought he had one of his better games today. Vicario, look, I think with the goal, there's not a lot he could do. You could make the argument he could be stronger there. Same with the Manchester City one. But I think, the defence or players marking the likes of Harrison should get back and help Vicario out. He's left to deal with three players around him. And I understand he's the goalkeeper and, he should be commanding his box better. But I do think we should man mark more surrounding Vicario and help him out. Not just let three players flood towards him and just allow that to happen. But I think in the first half, first 10 minutes, we started really well. After that, we weren't brilliant. And one of my other worries is over the last few games, we haven't really been able to sustain a good performance. We've had good spells in games. The Brentford game, we had a really good spell at the beginning of the second half. And again today, we had a really good spell for those first 10 minutes. And I thought from about the 50th minute, 55th, when he brought on Sarr and made the changes, to when he made more changes in about the 75th, we were the better team. But that's the thing. And that's another reason why I don't think we got the win today. We weren't able to, consistently perform well in today's game. We played well in parts, but it wasn't brilliant for the whole 90. It wasn't brilliant for even 45 minutes. But I think 2-2 is a fair draw. I think there's definite weaknesses and things we can work on with set pieces, defending those, the Vicario situation from corners and being caught out. But I think there's a lot of positives to take away from today. Richarlison, purple patch, but that purple patch is getting longer and longer and longer now. He's turning into a better and better player, and hopefully it can continue. As I say, I'm not going to be 100% on him unless he does it until the end of the season. But I thought he put in a really good performance today. Johnson's one of those where I'm very tired. 50 million, as I say, a lot of expectations come with that price tag. But it's not his fault that we paid that much for him. Do I think he was worth 50 million? I said at the time, probably should have spent that money on a backup centre-back. And I think if we had that backup centre-back in the summer for that period of games where we were missing, Mickey and Romero, maybe we pick up more points there. But I think, as I say, Johnson, he's put in a few good performances. I think he's a decent sub coming off the bench. He offers something pace. But I don't think he gets himself involved in games enough. And it's a similar thing with Timo Werner, sort of a lack of confidence to take on your man and try and beat him. He often sort of cuts back, plays a safe pass. But a lot of positives today, a lot of negatives. I just wanted to hop on and say I can't stay on.
One little bit of good news I'll give you quickly. Basuma's back because Marley got knocked out by Ivory Coast. Okay,
I did
so
see
he'll
that.
be
Yeah,
back.
and
I hope this hilarious.
Suspended a couple of games. He's going to miss 3 games.
Sorry,
Basuma. No, he served the
Basuma.
suspension.
he served his suspension.
he served it. I
So
think
he'll
that's
be
going to be
back.
massive.
He'll be back.
Yeah, Murray, the suspension was served. It kicked in immediately.
Yeah, well,
Okay,
I think
no,
that's
but
going to be massive.
for the card that he got, isn't there more games he's supposed to serve?
4, but he served them. It's
he
done.
served them before
Mari,
he went
Mari,
away.
he served him. He got the red card, I think, against Forest. It's been ages, man.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's got to sort himself out because he had 3 suspensions this season, and it was worse because it came up before the AFCON. So like that made it even worse for us fans because a lot of fans were moaning, really giving him crap on
He
Twitter.
would
If
have.
we can get the Basuma back from early in the season, as I say,
He's a good player, but then
was.
we also had he got malaria when he went out there. What the hell is that all about? Don't these players have good doctors and injections for this stuff?
Sorry, where have you heard that?
Yeah, he got malaria. He sat out.
Why do you report it?
He caught malaria.
Wow, I had no idea about that.
Now I don't know how they treat that now, but before when you had it, you had
Yeah,
it
he
for
was on
life.
he was an unused sub for like the game before this past game or whatever because of catching malaria while he was there.
Oh, I see.
Although he
I
wasn't in the best
I wasn't
form.
aware.
This is the other thing.
I didn't hear this
isn't it?
news. So.
He wasn't in the best form before he went away. We know he's a better player. Like when we were buzzing, guys. Look, when we were buzzing in first 10 games, everyone who were the 2 players, everyone was mainly raving about Basuma and Madison in them 10 games, weren't they? Who was man of the match? Was it Basuma? Was it Madison? Forget Son. Son's just class, right? I mean, like, no. So it'd be good to have him back.
Man,
It will be, and I think with Sarr as well. Hopefully, when he gets back
What
to
a dynamo.
starting week in week out, and that was another thing that was sort of missing today in the last games. One of the reasons why I think we have been able to consistently.
I gotta confirm this because I could have sworn that we were going to miss Basuma for more games.
No, it's all the games after the red card. So you guys played. You guys played over. He wasn't gonna miss 3 games. He was gonna miss 4 because it was a second red card. So he missed all those 4 games that came after Nottingham. Whether he was at AFCON or not, he missed them. So he's fine. He'll be free. But I mean, people have a little bit of selective amnesia. Even before the red card against Nottingham, his performances were very poor. So this whole thing that Basuma is going to come.
From that Luton game, he hasn't been brilliant.
Okay.
But, lads, I am going to have to shoot off. I only wanted to come on and say my piece quickly. I saw the link in the chat. But big
Cheers,
up
meet you,
yourself.
mate. Good to meet you.
Thanks for everyone. Good to meet you too. Good to see you all.
Big up.
See you later.
See you, man.
Cheers.
Before we go on to Charlie, you know what? Happy Kangaroo, let me school you. I'm an equal member of this channel, so I'm not ruining anything. All right. So, matter of fact, Stel and Iggy, all of them already know. So, matter of fact, I'm about to block you, Happy Kangaroo. You can sit your ass somewhere else, Happy Kangaroo, because you're about to get banned. Goodbye.
Well done. Well done.
Yeah, just get rid of all these people. They should have gone permanent.
I know I started this. Hold on.
I'm no carpetbagger on this channel. I'm actually an equal member on this channel. I have 2 nights, which is usually Wednesday and Thursday night on this channel. I contribute to this channel. So I had to ban Happy Kangaroo because he was speaking shit from his ass, and I banned him. I showed Humble's comment. He's a paying member. Thank you for your support. Continue to support our channel. And I posted the comment. I think Happy Kangaroo was the other guy, whatever, THF for life.
Same account, yeah. Multiple accounts.
So you switch your account. I will make sure you're permanently banned from our channel, Kangaroo. So you can take your shit and go. Now back to regular programming. Charlie and then Stefan and then Matt. Your thoughts on the game? Was 2-2 a draw? Was it fair?
Yeah, well, first of all, good to be back. I haven't been on this channel for a long time, so it's nice to come back. You know, I mean, look, where do I even start? Because there's a few things I want to say about this. Like, before the actual kind of analysis of the game, I need to just say something about Goodison Park because this is getting ridiculous now. So Spurs, I don't know if any of you know this stat. Spurs haven't lost at Goodison Park for about 10 years or so, or 11 years now, since the 2012-13 season. Although the last 5, including today, have all been draws.
Yeah.
But the problem, and I just cannot get my head around this, is today, last season, and I think it was the last season of Poch. So 3 out of the 5 draws we've had at this ground, we have all gone and conceded in the last minute, and I just can't.
Really?
I can't get my head. I can't get my head around it.
Oh,
the
yeah.
Poch one, that was the toss-in goal.
No, last season. Yeah, last season it was the Michael Keane goal.
Michael Keane, yeah. Stefan, I was about to say last season was the Michael Keane one.
Oh,
this season,
yeah, that was a great goal.
Yeah,
right.
So I just want to get this off my chest because I can't understand why this happens, because it's in other games we've held on, whatever it is, but at Goodison Park,
it's not just there though, is it? It's not just there. We've conceded 8 goals this season past the 90-minute mark. 8.
Yeah, but hold on, no. But hold on. A lot of those have been consolations, like the Newcastle one, like the Crystal Palace one, consolation goals. I can't remember us conceding last-minute equalisers like this. Maybe the Wolves game.
Wolves.
Fair point.
I said the Wolves game, but anyway, enough of that. Yeah, that's just something I've noticed at Goodison Park at this ground for whatever reason. Anyway, with the game itself, I think Robbie mentioned it before he left. We started well. We took the lead. Good finish from Richarlison, actually. I know everyone's going to talk about the second goal, but the first goal was quite underrated because he has to take that first time, kind of on the half volley. So I think that was a good finish, good goal, and we probably deserved it at the time, the way we started. And to be honest, someone said it, like the midfield, completely non-existent. And I don't know if Højbjerg should have started. I don't know if Sarr was ready to start. If he was ready, he should have started, but it is what it is. He might not have been ready. He's just come back and stuff. And to be honest, that corner goal, it could have happened more than once because there was already a couple of warnings from I think they had a corner before and stuff. There was a bit of a warning. And then when it happened, I wasn't entirely surprised because the way that they were targeting kind of this weakness with kind of round the back post and stuff. And I know people will blame Vicario, and I think, yes, Vicario does have a bit of fault on it. Vicario has been fantastic this season. Absolutely brilliant signing. Yeah. But for that goal, he is a little bit suspect, but it's not entirely his fault because the marking is just a shambles. Like the fact that everyone's going to look at I think it was Tarkowski, he kind of beat Vicario to it in the air, but no one's going to look at the next phase, which is how I think it was Calvert-Lewin or Jack Harrison, one of them is just unmarked in the box, just completely there. Nobody's trying to put their body on the line to try and stop that. Like, I don't understand how that happens. You know, they were, whoever that was, one of the two, they weren't marked. So then, you know, I mean, after the goal, what was that?
I was going to say, I think that Vicario needs a little bit more protection from our defenders.
Exactly.
Like, I think that, you know, I think that there was some, you know, Vicario himself, like, could have done better and all that stuff. But I also think our defenders are leaving Vicario really open, really vulnerable, not only on these set pieces. Everybody's talking about these set pieces and everything. But I think that there are times when, even when, you know, opposition is on the break, right? And, you know, you see that even though Mickey Van de Ven can get back really quickly and Romero can get back really quickly, anytime they are kind of beat or, you know, you're in a situation where it's 1v1 and we do have defenders back, they're not doing a good job of like getting in goal when Vicario is stepping out of goal. You know what I mean? To like have his back a little bit more. Like that's not really like happening as much. And I think that they need to have a better relationship there where if Vicario is going to step out or he's going to be in a certain location, like area, then they need to come and like take up the space, the other space. And they're just not really doing that. Exactly.
C-Cubed, absolutely spot on there. That's pretty much what, with the corners. And you're right, it happens in open play as well.
Two things on corners, right? If your goalkeeper can't come and players are blocking them off, then your defenders do protect him in a way that you block the attackers off. And if you've done your homework and you know who's going to take all the dead balls for the opposing team, you've got an idea where he's going to plonk the ball. You know, if they've got the number 9 there or whatever and whatever. So, like, you should be really wanting to win that ball and protecting your goalkeeper in the sense that blocking other players off that might try and block your goalkeeper off. After that, it's down to the goalkeeper. You know.
Yeah, no. So what I was gonna say is, I mean, look, we get. I was just continuing. We get back into the lead with Richarlison. I'm not his biggest fan, but fair play to him. That is a great goal.
It was a great goal. Yeah.
Yeah, that is a great goal. But I don't know what it is. Like in the second half, right? I still think we were losing the midfield battle, but we still had chances regardless. I know the Werner one was offside. However, we had a couple of other shots, you know, we could have done a little bit better with. You know, I thought we had a third goal in us in periods. And I thought we should have probably, despite our poor performance overall, we still should have got that third goal. And I mean, their equaliser, there's not a lot to say. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Romero, but he kind of flicks it back, you know, like you'd expect one of their players to do, kind of a flick on. I mean, that I didn't quite understand because he's got to head it forward, but you know, it is what it is. I mean, these things happen, you know.
Brilliant.
No. I mean, I'm not even having a go at Romero here. These things happen. Like, I'm a big fan of him.
With him, it happens quite often. But yeah,
no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
No, it really doesn't.
That's excellent, Steph, for the season.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Okay.
Stefan. It doesn't.
Van de Ven
Yeah, I mean,
is much better. But
no,
okay.
he's not. No, he's not.
I will say this. Romero is a
This
good
is
defender,
different.
but hold on. For this, because staying on topic of this game, I think that Van de Ven, I know that we conceded 2, but Van de Ven really held us together, especially in the end there.
Oh,
Like,
he achieved the
he
amount
really-
of sweeping that he was doing.
Yeah, he was doing so much sweeping. He just ran back and just did amazing. Thank goodness he is so fast, because we could have conceded a lot more at the end of that game. Like,
Yeah.
He's my
Van
man.
de Ven,
I know.
Van de Ven saved our asses a
Mhm.
number of times at the end of that game
Numerous
with his
times.
pace and just his tackles at the very end there.
Exactly. I mean, he was, like I said, sweep. I don't know what we do about Van de Ven, because I don't think there's many players like him that are actually as quick, that are centre halves, that can actually.
Yeah, but I
recover.
worry because he relies so much on he has to be put in those situations where he has to run back like that. He's very fast, but he has to run back like that, and then I just worry about his hamstring. I worry about him getting injured and stuff when we are putting him in situations like that, and he has to. I mean, at the end of the game, he did look a little bit like he was exhausted and his leg was hurting him. So
Well,
I'm just worried about that a little bit.
I mean, I'm not entirely surprised with that, to be honest. That he was, the amount of, like you said, CQ, the amount of sweeping he was doing, it unbelievable, to be honest. But yeah, no, just to end off on my point, Mari. Yeah, I mean, the draw was probably fair, but at the end of the day, you can't be taking the lead twice and not winning. Like, I think that's terrible, to be totally honest, at the end of the day. So,
do you guys think we're naive because we are a young side?
No, because of Ange. Because
No, Ange is an experience. He's an experience. Come on, Stefan.
Wait.
You're better than that.
Wait.
Have a little gig like that. You're better than that. I mean, Ange is an experience.
I have an opinion. I have an opinion that's different. Ange, in his interview,
one thing everywhere he's been, yeah?
Okay, yeah. In the Japanese league and in the Scottish league, okay. But the first thing that I would say
Arsene Wenger came from the Japanese league.
Please don't compare Ange to Arsene Wenger stuff.
Please don't talk about the Japanese league
Please.
when you speak about Ange.
Please.
Don't talk about Japanese leagues when you speak about Ange.
Arsene Wenger also won the league title with Monaco still. Again, selective amnesia again.
okay,
Ange
but
won the league title with Celtic.
sorry,
Are you seriously comparing the
Stefan,
French
it's not
league?
relevant. I'm sorry.
Okay, yeah, okay.
It's not relevant.
But go to his interview. Let me answer. Go to his interview. In what were his observations of why they drew the game? He said they should have scored a third goal. Why? You're leading. This is a tough away place. tighten up and keep the scoreline at 2-1. Don't keep. I saw Pedro Porro and Udoji trying to attack in the 85th minute when you were 2-1 up. What are you doing? This is what I mean by the naivety and the stupidity at times.
I'm sorry. No. Porro was literally. I thought he was one of our better players today by far.
No, I'm not.
I'm not saying they played.
Really?
I'm not saying they played.
Look, go. He was the only one in the second half that actually looked threatening and actually looked like he might either create something or score.
I'm not saying they played badly. I'm saying that why are you trying to attack when you're trying to hold on? Because, okay, I'm gonna go into my observation. So everybody says it deserves to be a
Get ready for the fraudulence, guys.
Get ready, guys. Get ready. Get ready for the bias.
Fraudulence income.
The first thing is, if you look at the actual stats, okay, Everton had more shots. Their XG was 2.8. Yours was 0.8. So based on the actual chances that they created and the shots they created, they should have scored way more goals than you did. First of all, so Everton in a way, although I think
Stefan, that's why Van de Ven was there.
Okay, but still, I'm saying they created better chances than you. So, okay, Mario, you're gonna let me because they're gonna interrupt me. So please, moderate because everybody's gonna interrupt because they'll disagree.
Yeah, because we gotta get to Matt.
From a game perspective, it went exactly the same way that I've been telling you guys every single Spurs game. It went the first 15, 20 minutes. You guys started well. You scored an early goal. And then they just dominated the first half. After the 15th minute, I would say 90% of the time, the ball was in your final third. The amount of pressing that Everton did and where they kept winning the ball, you guys could barely get out of your own half. Let's be honest. The second half, it was more even. I thought Spurs maybe were a little bit better in the second half. Again, up until the 75th to 80th minute, when Everton again started getting on you more. From just the game, I've written them down. The major observation that I have noticed is in this system, the most difficult position to recruit, the Pep Guardiola, whatever you want to call it, Arteta system or the Man City system, the number 6 position is the most difficult position to recruit. That player has to be, one is extremely unique, extremely difficult to find. I'm sorry, guys. Bentancur is not it. Højbjerg is, I would say, your best option there because of his passing. Bissouma, in my
it's been a horrible.
I agree. Okay, I agree that he might not be good enough, but I think he's better at that position than Bissouma because, in my opinion, Bissouma's passing is not good enough. It's not. He tries to take out the ball, and he gets into trouble, Bissouma, especially in his last 2 games before he got the red card. So for me, that position, it was obvious. The midfield, there was a complete breakdown in midfield. They dominate your midfield. And the thing that people forget from the Spurs fans is they missed their best midfield player in Onana. Onana would have eaten up your
Decore was missing as well, wasn't he? And someone else was missing as well, I think, Stefan.
I mean,
but the thing is, with stats, there's so many variables with stats, right?
Yeah,
and when they started talking about XG after the game, okay, fair enough, it's a draw. I don't want to sound like sour grapes to people. But when I looked at Porro's shot, when I looked at Madison's
shot was outside of the box.
Hold on, yeah. When I looked at those shots, now I'm looking at Vicario. Everton have got this XG, or the game's over. It's a point each, right?
Mm-hmm.
What saves did Vicario have to make?
He made one ridiculous save when it was
one ridiculous save, which was an offside decision.
Well, there was the one from Chermiti, which was straight at him, which Chermiti probably should have scored.
Guys, you're forgetting at the end of the first half from a corner where he headed it and he saved it with his feet, and then he just managed to kick it away. That's what I mentioned
earlier. That's why I said we were getting away with it.
Yeah, I wouldn't say they were in open play. I wouldn't say they were creating that much. But I would say from set pieces, they were really troubling you guys. And the second and the final thing before I give up is, guys, you concede to this system. I've told Stel this system, you concede so many chances, man. You concede goals, you concede chances. And even today, if you look at the stats, I agree, sometimes stats can be misleading. But they still had an XG of 2.95. Brentford had an XG of 2. If you go back to all your games, you conceded 24 shots against Bournemouth. 18 against Everton at home. I think the system is not built for the long run. I don't think
when you see these shots and a goalkeeper makes a worldie save, that's a different. Because when it's like a powder puff effort or straight down his throat, things that a goalkeeper. This is where you get the. This is where to me stats. I'm an old school eye test man. I mean, like, I'm not really into stats. I do miss things, and sometimes I correct it on my thoughts.
Okay.
On the game because like. I haven't looked at stats afterwards and thought a player was worse than he was or he wasn't as good as he was. I have done that. That's fair enough. Football makes fools of all of us. But I mean, like, I don't like this XG shit. I think it's so
okay, Adrian, I'm gonna ask you. Wait. I'm gonna ask you as the guy who looked at the game. Wait, I'm gonna ask you as people who looked at the game. Did you at any point in that game have any control of the game? It was complete chaos.
That was the biggest problem.
Game.
No, the control. He didn't control the tool.
And my point is that you don't have control because you don't have a good number 6. That is my point. A good number 6, like a Rodri.
Both midfields were crap. Both teams kept giving away the ball. There was a lot of tigerish intent out there from both teams.
I have not said anything in a very long time.
What Everton wanted, it was a messy game.
Guys, stop.
Adrian, I haven't said anything in a while, okay? So I want to dispel this whole number 6 thing, okay? Because this is something that a lot of people have been talking about. Stefan, you're saying it, but you're regurgitating a bunch of stuff that our, Spurs fans are saying too about number 6. So we don't have a true number 6, okay? That's natural. That's their natural position, number 6. That is true. But Basuma was playing on a 6 role at the very beginning of the season, and he was cooking. Okay. Then he started moving into more of an 8 role, which is the kind of 8 role is what he was playing at Brighton, and he was doing well at Brighton. And Sarr started to move from the 8 role into the 6 role because of whatever reason, and Sarr was actually doing pretty well in the 6 role. So what's happening is that we have two midfielders, Basuma and Sarr, who kind of interchange between the 8 and 6 roles. And we have Madison who plays the 10 role. And that's how we've been playing. We don't have a true natural 6. That is true. Okay. But we have 2 players who have been able to interchange between an 8 and a 6 very efficiently and very effectively. So if we were to get a true 6, I was saying, I know he's injured now and he's been injured, but, I was banging on the drum about Tyler Adams, but before he got injured. So, but because there aren't a lot of true,
Yeah, but Tyler Adams isn't a true number 6 either.
Yeah, he is. He plays a true 6.
He can't pass. He cannot pass. He cannot. A true number 6.
He plays a true 6 for the US. Anyways, my point. Hold on. My point is that we don't. It would be nice if we had a true 6, but we don't actually need a true 6 if if we have Basuma and Sarr on form interchanging between an 8 and a 6.
Exactly.
That's what it is. But you know what? But what we do need is sufficient backups or other players that will actually challenge Basuma or Sarr, because they have been inconsistent at times. So if we actually were able to, move Højbjerg on, even though I think that he's been a decent servant to the club in the past, if we're able to move him on and we're able to move some of our other players on and get a better player that's more of like a true 6 or a good replacement for them and an upgrade on them, then we would be fine.
I will say Bentancur, his natural position would be a 6.
He's not a 6, Mari. He's not a 6.
Bentancur plays number 6 for Uruguay.
I don't care if he plays number 6 for Germany. I've watched him play. He's not. He doesn't dictate the play.
He has
go
played
watch
Juventus.
Okay, go watch the way you guys. What I'm trying to say is the way he's trying to play the number 6. The defensive midfielder is he's trying to make him as a lone pivot, as a lone number 6. That is the most difficult position in that system by far.
No, I agree. And a couple other people. But
Even
I gotta cut you off because Matt has
go to Matt. Yeah.
He's been waiting since the previous show that got canceled.
Oh yeah, Matt, I feel bad. You haven't spoken.
Matt,
don't worry. Yeah, it's good. It's good to listen to all the contrasting opinions, and we're all, armchair managers, aren't we? We all think what's the best system, the best formation, and who should play. But for me, I think it ended up being a fair result because we played into Everton's hand. We stopped passing the ball, and we got caught up in my opinion, kind of we got caught up in the crowd, and most of their chances came from free kicks and corners, and that attracted the crowd into the game. When you play away from home, you silence the crowd. You keep possession of the ball, and you keep the crowd out the game. And that plays into, I can't remember who asked the question about, are we naive? There's an element of naivety because we are kind of we're the catalyst of our own demise, because we give away free kicks, we give away needless corners, and it invites the crowd, and all of a sudden Everton, who weren't in the game, I know Stefan's saying that, we had a 15-minute spell at the first half, but it was a little bit longer than that. After the first goal, it was absolutely deathly silence at Goodison Park, but we invited them into the game. We invited them into the game by being sloppy on the ball. And I'm never caught up in who's a number 6 or who's a number 8 or whatever else. What the secret to our success at the start of the season was, we could interchange between Basuma and Sarr, and we would create overloads in the middle of the park where the other team, we caught them on the hop. When you have players like Højbjerg and Skip, they're very rigid. They're not mobile midfielders, so they're easy to contain. They're not happy to run past you. They're happy to play in front of you, and that invites Everton into the game. So even though Basuma hasn't been at his best since the Luton game, what separates Basuma from a lot of other midfielders is he's hard to pin down. When we play the ball into him with his back to goal, when he's at his best, he's press resistant. So he breaks teams' formations. And then we create overloads with the Doji and Porro. So all of a sudden, it's 5 versus 3 in the middle of the park. That was the secret to our success at the start of the season. Once those suspensions and once those injuries started, what Postecoglou's had to do is create something, not really what he wants to do. And by a miracle, we've still been competitive. But I firmly believe once we get Basuma and Sarr back, and you sprinkle in a Lo Celso who can come off the bench with half an hour to play, you'll see us, in my opinion, control football matches a little bit better than what we've been doing. We don't control football matches. We have moments in games. So that's what we're doing at the moment.
That's
so
well
said,
said. Well said.
Let me finish.
Yeah. No, sorry. Go on, Adrian. What was you going to say?
No,
okay.
sorry,
Adrian,
I know I read it on. I'm so passionate. I'm sorry. My passion gets the best of me.
That's all right.
But,
Adrian, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Still, I don't know how you want to deal with it. I have a way of dealing with this. I already kicked someone out the show. Some people in the chat are really are going to across the line. I'm the type, I do not care if you're a paid member or you're non-paid member. If you're going to disrespect me, you're cut off. So I don't know how you want to deal with this though, but yo.
Who is it? Who is it?
Oh, they got banned.
Stay humble, man. To stay humble. I allowed you to stay. I read your chat. I don't know why now you're going there with
Mario. Stay humble. Everywhere I go, you're always friendly, right? Stay friendly. Don't cross the line, dude. If you do it again, then you're banned. That's it. It's that simple. You're out. If Murray wants to ban you, Murray, if you want to ban him now, ban him. It doesn't bother me.
Like, no, hold on. Stay humble, okay? Like, I know I called you out very early on in the show. The reason why I called you out very early on the show was because you sent in, you're one of the first people to be in our chat. Appreciate that. Appreciate the love there. But you sent like 10 Stefan is insert some shitty personal attack message in a row. And I just, you know what it is? It's like, if he can take the insult, no, hold on. He can take the insult, then that's fine. But like, that's spam. It's a personal attack as spam. Contribute to the football talk. Say some other things. If you want to say that Stefan is XYZ as well, then that's fine. But 10 messages in a row of just calling Stefan names is not contributing to the chat. It's just spam.
No, it's not.
And then now you and all these other people, not everybody in the chat, but there's a couple other people in trying to come into your defense, have now completely turned against the panel, and now you're being sexist and xenophobic.
And you're dissing the panel. When Stel got here, you said thank God that Stel's here and stuff like that. So you insulted the whole panel. I let you still say until you got to the point where you went to American woman. That's where I have a problem, man.
Look, man. Like, here's the thing.
Stop bringing people's nationalities into everything.
I don't have a problem.
We're having too much of a conversation.
I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with you. Stay humble. I'm just calling you out to be like, contribute to the chat instead of just doing personal attacks like 10 in a row. All right. So, and you got so butthurt about the fact that I called you out that you couldn't get over it, and then you turned on attacking me, and then other people were starting to attack me just because I called you out, because you just got so butthurt about it. Get over it.
Guys,
just get over it.
Attention.
He's still doing it.
Yeah, like just let him be a fucking loser. Comment on chats instead of saying, you know what, I'm gonna come on the show, debate.
Don't call him a fucking loser, because then we're just as bad. But I do want to say something here. Stay humble.
The guy's insulting.
Stefan, 1 minute. Where you say Stefan is the enemy, yeah, he is, but he's also a guest on the show, so there has to be a level of respect.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's a gooner, but he's a guest on the show, dude. Like, do you understand?
Matt, I just want to say about Matt, loved what you had to say, mate. And also, with the 6 and like the Basuma and the Madison thing, right? What you said was totally correct, because when we was really going strong was when those two were playing well together in them first 10 games of the season. We was always arguing over which one of them was going to be man of the match, right? You know. And the other thing, Stel would like to ask Stel a question and rest you panel. I think we get too caught up with numbers here. What is a 6? What is an 8? What is a 10? Everyone's got a different perspective on what a 6, an 8, a 10 is. I know Stefan, and that's from what he's saying. Now, Paul O'Keefe today was saying on reports.
No. He's a fraud. He doesn't know anything.
Right,
he knows nothing.
I'm going to say what he said anyway.
No.
No.
He doesn't know anything.
I'm going to say it anyway, right? So he said that in the summer. Hold on.
No. That don't even get me started.
Hold on. We're after a striker, a defender, and a central midfielder number 8, because we've always had this Conor Gallagher.
Yeah.
We're not after
once you guys sign Conor Gallagher, it's over for the Premier League.
I mean, what do you, Stefan? What is your perspective? What is a number 6 to you? Tell me what number.
In my opinion, my perspective is a number 6 based on the system that you play. You're trying to emulate Man City. You're trying to be a possession-based team that dictates play, that attacks play. A number 6, the perfect number 6, in my opinion, is someone like Rodri or someone like Partey that is calm on the ball, that can progress. The most important thing is he can progress the ball through the lines. His passing, the way he passes through the lines, the way he cuts through defensive lines. That is what Partey and Rodri are so good at. If you look at Kimmich, I wouldn't put him on the same level as Partey or Rodri, because I don't think he's as physical as them. But Kimmich, but then my point is that number 6s can be different based on the teams they play. Liverpool, for example, don't need such a good passer of the ball. They need more of a breaker, a guy who can counter press really well. A Fabinho, a João Paulinho, for example, would be perfect in my opinion for Liverpool. He's not as good on the ball and not as good as a passer, but as a duel winner, as a tackler, he is immense. He is amazing. So that is what I mean. And
one more question for you, as you're the guest here. What's your perspective or difference between a number 8 and a number 10?
In my opinion, a number 8 in that particular system is much more attacking. A number 8, for example, in the Man City system, and what Arteta's trying to do with Havertz, but not doing it so well, is a number 8 is kind of, he's playing the Lampard role, which is he makes late runs into the box. He's usually a little bit of a finisher in a way. He's good at shooting. Someone that makes really good late runs with a high IQ. Someone like Gundogan last season for Man City, the way he would make late runs into the box and score goals. That for me is the number 8 in that system and in the system that Ange wants to play. You say Matt is now giving me these excuses, but on WhatsApp 2 or 3 months ago when I said we're missing Partey, we're missing players, he kept saying, oh, when we have Bentancur back, he'll play instead of Sarr. Now Bentancur is shit. Out come the excuses now. But when Sarr comes back and Bissouma comes back, then we're good again.
Not shit.
So
Bentancur's not shit. Stop that. Stop
no,
that
no.
nonsense.
Bentancur, no. I didn't say he's shit. I said he's been playing like crap. Let's be honest. The last 3 games he's been awful.
So was Granit Xhaka for the first 2 years under Arteta, and the last 2 years you're not praising him.
What is Granit Xhaka got to do with anything, Stel?
Because you're using a player.
We're talking about Spurs now.
Because you're using a player that is not playing at the level he can. And it will take time.
Which is what level,
back from injury.
Which
Let
is
me
what
answer
level?
the question. How's about I answer the question? How's about answer the question?
Yeah,
right?
after you interrupted me.
Okay, when you're ready, let me know.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Act like you've been interrupted, but okay, go on.
Xhaka's not even the best midfielder at Leverkusen. It's Palacios.
How is he not the best? Have you
Palacios.
watched Leverkusen?
Palacios.
Okay.
Do you want me
Palacios.
to answer? Do you want me to answer?
Palacios.
Okay. Why are we talking about Xhaka? Why are we talking about Xhaka?
I'll answer that question when you let me answer the first one.
Okay, go on.
All you're doing is adding questions, not letting me answer any of them. Right?
No, I have a question.
Go for it. I'll answer that one.
I have a question. So, the next question is clearly the other big thing out of this game is Timo Werner and Johnson, right? We could say that Richarlison, right? I'll save Richarlison for next. Timo Werner and Johnson.
Well, Mari, Werner, 3 assists in 3 games prior to today was his 4th game. So that's okay. But can he finish his dinner and score? I don't know.
But can I, Murray, sorry. Can I just, I need to speak about this game. I need to speak about this game in general, right? And I want to talk about Timo and Johnson as well. Because there's a lot that needs to be said here, right? And part of it is just, we need to put perspective. And the other part, we need to criticize as well. I want to start with the team that Ange inherited. Only 7 of those players are worthy of being at this club if we're serious about trophies, or top 4, okay? And that is Romero, Porro, Bentancur, Bissouma, Sarr, Son and Kane. They're the only 7 worthy to stay. We lost Kane. So we're down to 6. We need a squad minimum of 18 if we're going to compete and rotate players and manage cup games and injuries and imagine Europe next year. So from 18 that we need, we've only got 6. That means we need another 12 players to come in. We signed only 4 that are good enough. Van der Ven, Udogie, Maddison, Dragusin. Timo should be at the club.
How do you know Dragusin is good?
Stefan, let me finish, man. Let me finish.
Okay.
Right? Timo shouldn't be at this club. Johnson, for me, waste of money. Solomon, freebie, on the cheap, standard Levy. Let's do something and hope it works out. Okay? So we've only signed 4. So now from 7 plus 4, we've got 11. So we've got a starting 11 if they're all fit, if they're all at the club at the same time. Outside of that 11, we're fucked. We're absolutely fucked. So what you're seeing now is you're seeing a team on a match day that hasn't got that 11. No problem. This is where you've got a coach. Try and make it work. You're not going to make Timo work and you're not going to make Brennan Johnson work. They should not be at this club. On top of that, when you've then got some players that I think are good, who are underperforming because they're in a bad patch or for whatever reason it may be, like Kulu and Bentancur, that now pushes down on the problem. So now that's 4 players on the pitch that aren't good. So you're literally playing with 7. These things happen. He's inherited a mess. He's got 4 players in, lost his best player. He's got some players not performing well. He's going to need time if the club bring in the right players and stop bringing in Solomons, Timos, Johnsons. Now, if we look at the past, let's look at some managers that have come in over history and they've had to rebuild and go again. Pep, his first season finished 4th, and he inherited a pretty good side. Fergie finished 11th. Klopp finished 7th. Arteta finished 8th. So if this manager finishes 6th or above, he's off to a good start if we look at history and the other managers. And currently, we're on target to do that. That's the perspective I wanted to put on it. However, I'm sorry, man. I went on We Are Tottenham TV today, and I said to them, we do not control games. The midfield, as soon as you dump a Højbjerg or a Skipping, it becomes disjointed. And as soon as you add a Bentancur, who's not in form right now, for whatever reason, he's not in form, we cannot cope in that midfield. So the service doesn't get to the forwards. When the ball does get to the forwards, they're no good. If you look at all the stats, all the metrics, Brennan Johnson and Richarlison only perform against the bottom 11 teams. But as soon as we play those top 8 or 9, Richarlison goes missing. Johnson is a ghost. Timo isn't much better off of what we've seen so far, but he's only been here a little bit of time. So we cannot compete against those top 8 teams unless Son is here and unless Maddison's on fire. And Porro, who's got the most assists and goals combined contribution with Son against the top 8. The rest aren't at it. I'm sorry. These are facts. These are the stats complete. I sat there on Thursday.
Where I disagree with you is
Adrian, one last thing, then you can all agree. I went on We Are Tottenham TV and I said all this. I said, we don't control that midfield. Until we bring in the midfielders we need, until we have players on the bench that can come on when Bentancur isn't playing well, when Maddison's knackered, who's going to come on the bench today, off the bench? Skip and Brian Hill. Are you taking the piss? And Everton are a physical, intimidating home team to play against. And then the attackers aren't doing jack shit, the wide players. And the way we play, it's not with wingers, it's with attacking forwards. You've got to score goals. The same way Man City's front three do. The same way Arsenal's front three last year did. The same way Liverpool's front three do. Our front three don't do it. It's either Son or Richie. Oh, we've got nothing. So for me, we're so far off the mark. We've overhyped. We've gone all in. Oh, Timo's a brilliant signing. Johnson's going to come good. This 18-year-old wonder kid's going to be the next Messi. Chill. This process needs time. Levy hasn't proven he's going to back this yet. But Levy hasn't proven he's going to back it yet. Mario, let me finish off. Mario, my last thing, and I'm done. Yeah. I went on We Are Tottenham TV and I said all this. And then Barnaby disagreed with some stuff. I said, no, Barnaby, I disagree with what you've said. I made a bit of back and forth. It was a good debate. The comments were so abusive, so offensive towards me.
Need for that.
I thought to myself, I don't care. I don't care about that. But I thought, look at the mindset of our fan base. Look where your head's at. And then they took my video and they clipped it as one of their highlighted videos. And do you know why they did that? Because in my mind, they know I'm talking some sense. But they also know it's going to cause some controversy, which will get the likes. Because fans at Tottenham are split on what I'm saying. Everything I've just said, the fan base at Spurs are split on this, bro. And the only way this division stops is make these players prove me wrong, or bring in some proper players for the players that I'm criticizing, and then I've proved all of you wrong. Not you here, but the people that criticize. I just don't think. I don't think we're ready. I don't think we're ready.
No, we're not. We are not.
We can challenge the top four. We can challenge the top four once we've got the full 11 back. Then we can.
And we are young. But just to counter some of your comments, which are a little bit negative, right? The fact that we go We go away at Man United, get a draw. We go away at Man City, we get a draw. We go away with a better team at Arsenal, and we get a draw. Don't deny it.
I thought you won all these games.
And yet at home, you couldn't even score an open play against us.
Heung-min Son played against Man City. Heung-min Son played against Man City.
Hold on. And then when we're at home with our midfield, right, against Man United, we blew them away in the second half. We blew them away.
But it finished 2-2, Adrian.
No, at home we beat them 2-0. At home we beat them 2-0.
At home.
But that was
time on away.
Adrian, that was the first 10 games. That was the first 10 games.
You calling Stell?
We played very well against Villa and lost.
The most standard thing that he's called.
I
would the most standard thing that he's been called.
I would obviously me as a pure neutral fan, as you guys.
Yeah. Is it neutral? Are you really Switzerland?
Yeah, I'm not biased at all.
This guy's North Korea.
Yeah.
Stefan is Satan incarnate right now.
Yeah.
He said it last show. That's why I said it. He said it last show.
I do think Stell, I would say I would agree with him on a lot, but I do think he likes to scapegoat certain, like for example, Bentancur. He's never on his case, even though Bentancur, everybody is on Højbjerg's case, even though Højbjerg has been far better than Bentancur over the last.
Stefan, I said he's not playing well. Him and Kulu, the last 3 games have been poor.
Yeah, but you say you've seen Bentancur because you use the metric of look at who Richarlison and Kulusevski have scored against. It's always the lower to kind of relegation threatened teams. Tell me one big game Bentancur played against the top side, Stel.
Man City at the Etihad in the 3-2.
Yeah, he played well.
Arsenal at home 3-0.
Arsenal at home 3-0 when we had no, like he did. It wasn't him that played.
Are you a top side or not? Are you a top side or not?
If it was the other you wouldn't be saying
he did not. No, I disagree with the answer because he didn't take over the game. Like he didn't. The Man City game.
He did.
No, he didn't. Kane took over the game.
The Etihad, he did.
Okay, so you're saying he played better than Kane, or he played
he
better
didn't say
than
better.
Kane?
He didn't say better. He said
okay. Well, okay,
I said him and Kane stuff.
Kane didn't play that game alone. Okay? He was the difference maker in that game. He put the team on his back, but he didn't play that game alone.
Okay,
it was Bentancur and Kane that got us to be dominating that game.
Exactly. Okay. Stefan, that's Stefan. That's what I was trying to tell you.
Okay,
you know,
I just think in the big games he goes.
You know what it is? Right, listen, Bentancur. When we first signed him, the first 4 months it was a breath of fresh air. Like he galvanized us, and him and Kulu had a brilliant 4 months. The second season under Conte, the best midfielder in our club, hands down, was Bentancur until he got injured. Right, since he's come back from his injury, he's been very indifferent.
Yeah,
I think he just needs time. If next season or the last 2 months of this season, the same thing's happening, Stefan.
Yeah.
Then I'll say, you know what? You might have a point here.
Bentancur came back from an ACL injury. People forget that.
I think
he was
needs
out for a long time too. He was out for basically like 8 months.
Okay.
And then he immediately injured. He immediately got injured again, like on his what was it, like second or first? I can't remember.
Thanks to Matt Cash.
Yeah, he got injured again on like one of his first games back. So he was injured like a second time in a row in a span of like, how many months? Like he was gone for a long ass time. And as far as Bentancur is concerned, okay, his first season with us, like that first 6 months under Conte, he was a game changer with Decky and getting us top 4, and he was really, really good. But he actually didn't get, like, we were saying that he was amazing, but we weren't even seeing his praises as much until the following season. The beginning of the season, Conte's second season, that's when he really kicked off because he was our best. He
started adding goals to his game. That's when he started adding goals.
He was our best player before he got injured. Even better, Kane was scoring the goals, but like he was the best player on our team before he went down injured under Conte last season.
Okay. I just think the system doesn't suit him. I think the number 6 role that he currently tries to play and kind of interchanges. He looks, maybe because he came back from an ACL and then he's injured.
See,
He looks a
what
bit.
gets me, Stefan.
No, I agree,
When
Stefan. I think
wanna
Bentacle's best position is a 7.
Yeah,
I think
when
Bentacle's best
people
position
want
is
to
a 7.
stereotype players
An 8.
as a number 6 or a number 8 or whatever.
Sorry,
I mean, when I look at
6, 7.
Star, I think Star could play
Number 8,
multiple
number 8.
positions.
No,
I
sorry.
think Bentancur and
Yeah, 8,
Basuma
sorry,
as
man.
well.
No.
Hold on.
Right,
That's
hey,
kind of,
hey, hey.
that was my point earlier too. Like
I've got the
everybody
10s to hold him
jumped
in,
on
man.
me when
I'm
I
losing the
was-
plot. Too much abuse.
Jumped on me and when I was talking about our 6-8,
Broken,
like
broken.
2-6 kind of like options, and I mentioned that Basuma and Sar have been interchangeable in the 6 and 8 roles, and admittedly I forgot about Bentancur because he's been out for so long. But putting Bentancur in the mix there, who wasn't around the beginning of this season, so when we were really cooking at the beginning of the season, it was Sar and Basuma interchanging between 6 and 8 roles, and now with Bentancur back in, if he kicks on, yeah, he could play the 6 role as a true 6 because he has played that before. That being said, he has, for Spurs at least, played in like this kind of hybrid 8-6 role, especially when we had a 2 midfield under Conte. So he is not really, I wouldn't consider him to be a true 6 either, because when I'm thinking of a true 6 is somebody who's like, that is what they play all the time, primarily.
Rodri.
And you know what I mean? And that's what I mean by that. But what we have right now is we have Basuma, we have Sar, we have Bentancur, 3 players who can all play 6 or 8, interchange between them with each other, by the way, and who have all had some inconsistency at some point this year.
But they.
Okay, I gotta get to the super chats. All right, we have a user, big up, $5 super chat, says, what has happened to us with set pieces since our set piece coach Gianni Vio left? That was with Conte. Also, if plan A doesn't work, we need a plan B. Otherwise, we get sus.
I agree thoroughly. I mean,
Yeah.
let me put a bit of perspective on
but
this.
But we went to plan B. We put 3 at the back. It was a disaster.
One more super chat.
I want to talk about
Adrian, let him do the super chats. Adrian, let him do the super chats.
I'm gonna get super chats out of the way. Big up to Connor, Stefan versus 6 Spurs fans box office content.
Connor,
Yes.
what did I tell you about?
Good show earlier, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey,
The biggest fraud.
I want to bet with Connor, by the way, because he was like, Spurs are gonna wipe the floor with Everton. I'm like, Connor, man, Everton are not bad, man. And
I want to go.
Connor wishes that he was a Spurs fan.
yeah, sometimes I really feel that he does. I don't know why, but yeah.
I find set pieces so frustrating. So frustrating.
On Richarlison.
Elite, world class, elite.
Okay. Yes. Richie on form. You've heard numerous channels. Is the longest purple patch.
Call him by his name, Mari. R9. Have some respect.
Well, yeah. Well, like Dad's not here to speak for himself, but
Spurs are not.
But Richie on form. What are your thoughts about it? Is he our future? Starting as I mentioned, I have my opinions about Richarlison, but Richie on form. Is this the true Richie? Is this the purple patch? Is this okay? We'll take advantage of it now. We'll sell him later. Your thoughts on Richarlison?
We don't know. We won't know until the end of the season, will we? We won't know. 9 goals and 8 goals.
Adrian,
yeah, I think he's banging form. I read somewhere today that here's a question: how many matches this season has Richarlison played as a number 9? Go round. Guess how many matches has he?
12.
Has he started as a number 9?
12. 12.
Mari?
I know he started and then he got maybe moved the 4th game. I want to say when was the switch between him and Sonny? Because he got switched maybe the 4th or 5th game. I want to say.
Him and Son was switched. I know him, Mari. Him and Son was switched from the Liverpool game. That's when it started. When they
I
switched.
was shocked when I saw the stat.
So that means.
And the Liverpool game was like, I think, 10th game of the season or something. I don't know.
So Richarlison has played as a number 9 in 14 Premier League matches this season. So if you just 14 as a number 9, and he has 10 Premier League goals. Now, all fan bases are the same. You either like a player or you don't like a player. So I've been watching and reading and listening. I'm a guy that I like to listen. So when everybody's piling in, I'll just sit back and listen. And if you don't like Richarlison, the tap-ins. I won't mention their name, but there was another podcast. After he scored the first goal today, they said he couldn't miss. Somebody on the watch-along, Spurs fan, said he couldn't miss the left foot that he took first time, which I thought was a very good finish.
It was, yeah.
And I said it. Yeah. Underrated finish.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
So what
I don't know about underrated, but it's a good finish.
The moral of the story is in.
Well, I mean, I say underrated because.
Oh, sorry. Continue, Matt. I interrupted you.
Yeah. So for me, I think he's doing more than enough. More than enough. You get some centre forwards that lead the line. They're involved in every part of the makeup of the game, and you get another number 9 who finishes chances. Now, for me, Richarlison is doing a little bit of both. He is working hard off the ball. He is getting involved in the build-up play, and he's now finishing chances. So if he continues on his current trajectory, with how many Premier League matches are left, he's on to get 18 or 19 Premier League goals this season. So as bad as he is, Dan
TFHC, who's probably the biggest Richarlison fan on the globe, says we're seeing a healthy Richarlison because he's using the surgery or the excuse. Do you think the injury was the reason why he was crap last year? Or would you? That's what Dan says. It's not what I'm saying, but Dan TFH. What was Dan Mizzy now? His name's Dan Mizzy. I mean,
Mizzy.
Do you believe the injury was the reason why maybe they keep on?
Is just dizzy.
I don't think that is the root of the cause, but I think the football that we played under Conte wasn't conducive to Richarlison, and he also had a talismanic, prolific number 9 in Harry Kane. So I think it was a combination of how do you play the understudy to Harry Kane? Then there was the interruption of the World Cup. Then I think he had 2 injuries. I think he got injured just before the World Cup. Then he played in the World Cup and they got injured in the last game for Brazil when they got knocked out. And then he didn't come back for Spurs for about another 3 weeks after the World Cup. So he had a stop-start season. He's partly to blame, but you're as good as your last game. And I read again today that Richarlison's the 6th top scorer in the Premier League this season.
Can I, Matt? Can I put a little bit of perspective on this, right? Because I've got big concerns about this Richarlison hype. I think 100% he's in form. 100% he's carrying us right now. Right, he is. He's definitely doing well. But, and this is where I begin to have concerns. If you look at all the games we've played, right? I broke it all down. This is the top teams, the middle teams, the bottom teams. If you look at the bottom teams, Maury, can you just keep the comments off just for 1 second? Cheers, bro. No, just so people can see. If you look at the bottom teams, all the games we played, you see Richarlison's name pop up a lot for goals and assists. Okay, it's Bournemouth, Brentford, Everton twice, Everton at home, Fulham in the Cup, Nottingham Forest, Sheffield United, and then assists against Sheffield. And then you see Johnson's name pop up a lot as well for assists. Okay?
Yeah.
Soon as you go up to mid-table, suddenly, 1 against Man United away, and then 1 assist against Fulham. That's it. Once we get to the top teams, the guy disappears. Yes, he got an assist against Liverpool, and he got 2 goals against a depleted Newcastle. I have to say, they were broken God knows how many injuries. We battered them. We're not battering a proper Newcastle. He goes missing. Johnson is non-existent, right?
The Man City away, he didn't play. That was the operation. He wasn't available for the
Fair
Aston
enough.
Villa,
there might be a game
Aston
or two
Villa
where
and Man City. He was injured.
All right, those 2 games didn't play. Arsenal, he came on, had a shot, missed the target. Brighton away, it was awful. Man City in the cup the other day, awful. West Ham, awful. Right, and then we get to the mid-table, it's not much better. So for me, what I'm seeing at the moment, and it's not me hating, I'm just looking at the goals and the assists in the club. The bottom teams so far is Richarlison and Brennan Johnson's level. That's their level. Now, we've got coming up soon Chelsea away, Liverpool away, West Ham away,
Villa away,
Newcastle away, Man City at home, Arsenal at home, got Brighton at home. If he turns up and Johnson turns up in those games, I'm silenced. I'm mudded. I'm broken. I'm cancelled. But if he doesn't, do you not agree that as much as he's been effective, we cannot go forward as a club with players that don't turn up in those big games? Because you see those top 8 games, whether you like it or not, whether we like it or not, Harry Kane and Son, 90% of the time, turned up against those clubs. And that's what makes them elite. When they're up against proper defenders, proper midfielders, they find a way. Not always, but a lot more than not. Richie doesn't. Johnson is non-existent against the big clubs. He's a ghost. Can you see the argument, guys? Can you see the point I'm making?
No, but Adrian,
is this negative?
No, it's not negative.
All right.
That's what I say. Like, the only thing that's going to happen that within 10 days, Son's going to be back, right? I don't know if he's going to be playing on the left or on the right, right? But with Sonny and
he's not playing on the right.
And I'm saying it's because he'll be in good form. No, because Son's always going to score goals. He's so good with his left and right foot. He's just such a clinical finisher, right? Now, Richarlison has surprised me. Jury's out with me on him to the end of the season. Almost so many goals he gets. If he's got 15 by the end of the season, you keep him. You keep this guy because he's a menace when he comes on. If you want to bring him on late, if you get a better striker in, I mean, and we don't. Velez might smash it at Sevilla at the moment, and like Parrott's really doing the business at Chelsea at the moment. Yes, he is.
Stop with this guy.
He is. Hold on, Charlie. Let's not joke about players are out, because what happens is when Kane come, Sherwood gave him his debut. Kane had 4 or 5 debuts, 4 or 5 loans.
Don't compare Harry to Harry.
This is hindsight.
And I think I said this at the beginning of the show.
Stefan, right?
With Richie,
Kane had done nothing to really impress, right? And like even Levy moaned at Sherwood. Why are you playing Kane instead of Soldado, right?
Okay.
And
I don't want to go off the
so I don't want people to start knocking Parrott, or
but Adrian, hold on.
I don't want to go off
talking about Richarlison and Brennan Johnson.
Let's focus on
Richie.
Adrian, are you going to take the Eredivisie? Are you going to take the Eredivisie seriously?
Not Johnson.
Eredivisie, like, come on.
Charlie,
Marcus
Edwards played for Excelsior. Now he's
it's the Eredivisie.
He's a 50-60 million pound player.
Marcus Edwards is a 50-60 million pound player.
Go back to Richarlison.
Richarlison. Listen, I said at the beginning, I said, look, when a player's at Spurs,
Eredivisie,
I always hope if they're part of the squad, they're going to do well. We all do. We're all well-intentioned Spurs fans, right?
Adrian,
and I said,
not me.
Absolutely crap, right?
Richarlison.
Get out of here.
It depends. It depends with Richarlison, right? If Richarlison is okay, we're keeping him, right? We're keeping him to be a player to come off the bench, right? Then, for me, I would say, okay, you know what? He scored 17, 18 goals this previous season to have him off the bench. My fear is what this club always does. If this guy gets 20, knowing Levy is bored, it's like, well, you know what? we don't need to go after Jimenez or.
Hold on, Murray. Sorry. Can you bring up this comment from Lena Tuz at 11:53?
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna bring it up. Yeah, I'm gonna bring it up.
Guys, stop getting personally.
Charlie hasn't spoken for 10 minutes.
The danger I don't want to happen. The danger is what I don't want to happen because of this prolonged purple patch. Is that now that the board and Levy think, okay, we don't need to sign a striker because it's Richarlison. And knowing this club, they will think that way. I'm more inclined to say if he's not going to be on the bench next season, because if he stays, he needs to be on the bench, and we need to show ambition and get a good striker, quality striker. I would say sell him now, because what the biggest flaw of this club is we don't know when to sell when it's high, right? Eric Dyer, Ali Ali, right? If Richarlison scores 20 goals, are you kidding me? I'm pimping Richarlison all over him.
Murray.
If you score 20 goals,
sorry, mate. Richarlison hasn't won me over, right? He hasn't won me over. But since his operation and all that, he looks a lot more fluid in the play. I thought he had a great game against Brentford and that. Like he had a good game.
Great game against Brentford.
Wait, hold on.
Right, but even before when he was getting all the flack, I thought, hang about, he's at the club until players go, and when they go, I always wish him well when they've left the club and all that. I was looking at him thinking, well, hang about, you're the Brazil striker, you're getting there in front of Jesus, right, and all that, and like they see something in you, and actually, yeah, but before you laugh, Stefan, right?
That's why there's
players. Hold on, just shush a second, right? Players when they come through the ranks of being a young kid, and Stel will know this through coaching and academy levels and all this, they have to show a certain something to being considered to have been taken on as a professional player and play for a club and work their through to the national side. And I was thinking like weeks ago, is this player really as shit as I think he is? Because I just thought he was total effing crap. Right?
Wait, but hold on. I was very critical of Richie. Okay, so let me speak on Richie because I was super critical of him. Okay, so I want to point out that Richie today he scored 2 goals with his feet that I don't give him credit enough for scoring goals with his feet. Okay, they were good finishes. I think the first goal was good finish. The second goal was a really good finish. I was actually very surprised by it. So I want to give him credit for that. Okay. He still has a lot of issues though. Okay. He falls down a lot. He gets the ball and then loses it and falls down a lot. No matter how good he's playing, even though he played pretty well during Brentford comparatively, it was a pretty good game for him. He still ultimately will get the ball and fall down and then lose it. So that's some of the issues with Richie, okay? Yes, he's scoring goals. He's on form right now. And I'm very happy that he is, okay? But I said this in another stream, 2 other streams, that I was looking up his stats. And he had only 1% of higher shooting accuracy than Nketiah, who we talk so much shit about, okay? And he had his shots they're just like all over the place. Okay. So after these past 2 goals, his shooting accuracy went up a little bit. So he's like 40% now. Great. Okay. Now here's the gap. Okay. Most strikers in the top half of the table, they are in that 40+ percent range of shooting accuracy. Richie is on the low end of that. And I mean, not everything should be about shooting accuracy. I recognize that. Okay. And I know it's just one stat, but like if you're a striker and you're, pulling shots off, not all shots are going to be the best quality shots because not all chances are the highest quality chances. But if your shooting accuracy, it's one thing for it to be saved, but your shooting accuracy is that bad, then that is troubling. Okay, because it's not like his shots are being saved. It's he's not getting his shots on target. That's a problem. And regards to him having, scoring a lot of goals right now, yeah, I hope he continues doing it. And I think he has improved. And I said this in other streams. I think he's improved since he got his surgery, his operation, and hopefully that can, that he'll kick on a little bit more from that. That being said, okay, he has at the same time all of these goals he's getting. He should actually be getting even more goals. Because we have created this season only 2 fewer big chances than Man City. And we've scored less goals, a lot less goals than Man City. And even though Man City doesn't have Haaland, okay? And Sonny's been gone for several games now too. So my point is that we actually create a lot more chances this season than previous seasons. We know that because we are playing kind of like pressing, attacking football, whatever you want to call it, right? That's our style of play. So he should actually, if he wants to be the starting striker for us, that's going to bring us to the title and compete, which is, I think, should be our ultimate goal. And if we're willing to stand for anything less, then we're being complacent. Then he is not the striker as of yet. I don't think he is the striker ever, to be totally honest. But hey, he's definitely so far not that striker. Even with this form right now, he is not that striker to get us there. If he was to come on and be like a rotation or a bench option, then there's an argument. I don't know if I would do that, but there's an argument if he continues this form that could be made for that. But he is not that starting striker. And his form right now of being able to score goals has a lot to do with the fact that he's getting a lot of chances to do that. And now that Maddison is back in the team, he's going to have even more chances to do that. If, earlier when Maddison was out of the team, we had to move Sonny to the left just to create chances for Richie because he wasn't able to do anything else but tap in chances that Sonny was creating on the left for him. It's not good enough. It's just not good enough.
Wait.
Let me step in. I want to address this just real quickly.
I've been waiting patiently.
Joe, I want every Spurs player to do well for the club, and I think everybody here, minus Stephen, because he's an Arsenal fan.
What are we talking about? I really want Richarlison.
They want Richarlison to do well, our players to do well. But also, as we critique and we see how the player plays in their form, we also have to be honest if this player is good enough to where we want to go. So, Joe, if you believe that Richarlison, right, because I take delight to be proven right.
Why wouldn't you be delighted if you're proven right? If I'm proven right, I'll be happy.
Yeah,
I'll be like, told you.
I just don't want this club to be in a trap and say Richarlison is our starting striker for next season, and he regresses.
Hold on.
Can
I just don't want to see that happen because with this club, my club, I've seen it happen so many times where we go through a purple patch of 1 or 2 games, and we keep these players for 10 years. Ben Davies, Eric Dyer, and we're stuck with them. So
wait, Mari.
Joe, that's what I'm saying.
Mari, Adrian made a good point, though. Adrian made a good point when he said, but you know what? Adrian made a good point. If he does score 15, 20 goals, you do have to keep him. I hear what you're saying. You do have to keep him, though, because you know what? That's a proven goal scorer, and we need them. My issue, though, is this. He's got to do it against the top teams because if we get to a semi-final or a final of the cup, we're not playing Bournemouth and Palace. We're playing Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea. We're going to play Villa. If we're in a league title race, you're up against City right now. City, Liverpool, for example. You're not.
I hate to say it.
So if he can't do it at that level,
Kane didn't do it against them, did he?
Hold on. I am so this whole.
Kane scored
every
time we played Man City. Kane scored. Yeah. He's the highest goal scorer in the
finals. Charlie, you leaving?
We got to two finals. No. Kane got to two finals. He got to two.
I just want to say this before I go.
You don't get to finals. It's not fair.
No, I just want to say that thank you for guys having me on the stream and being fair with me and stuff because I know it's.
We need a villain.
Yes, of course. On Richarlison, I just want to say this. Today, he reminded me of Aubameyang in a good and a bad way. And I'll tell you why. He was lethal, in which he had 2 shots and he scored both of them. The finishing was very similar to Aubameyang. But every single other aspect of the general play was horrendous. He lost the ball so many times, just like Aubameyang did. He lost duels against the defenders. If you go watch the free kick that led to the second goal, go and watch. Although Kulu makes the foul and the mistake, it starts off from Richarlison losing the ball. And I want you guys, I didn't do a stat. I want you to do a statistic every game. How many times Richarlison loses the ball because of a bad touch or he gets physically dueled losing the ball. He loses the ball far too much and he doesn't allow you. Just like Aubameyang.
Today he lost the ball. Yeah. Today.
Yeah.
Despite
the goals, he was wasting
his
possession.
His touch has got better, although it couldn't got any worse.
And then the second thing is, if he doesn't score a goal, guys, he doesn't do anything. He doesn't create chances. He doesn't do anything. This is my issue with Richarlison. If he doesn't, Aubameyang was the same. The moment you take him, okay, wait, but the moment you take him away from the penalty area, Aubameyang, and he has to come back and try and build up the play, he is useless. And that is what I think Richarlison is very
not against the bottom teams, he's not. Against the bottom teams, he actually got quite
Aubameyang scored more goals than Richarlison. But if you watch Aubameyang's overall play, the way he helps the team, he's not good enough. He doesn't win enough headers. He doesn't build up play. He doesn't,
Aubameyang, okay, Stefan, do you remember what I said about Richarlison? I've said it about 3 times tonight. If he doesn't do it against the big clubs, I'm not interested. Aubameyang in the semi-final of the FA Cup, he went to Man City and scored. In the cup final, he won you the cup final.
He won us the cup. He won us the cup. Right, I agree.
Right. So this is my point. If he can't do it against the big teams, we're going to get to a point where you've got to beat that big team now to claim the glory. But if he can't do it against those teams, that's my big issue. That is my biggest issue with him. So the second half of the season, I will make my final decision on him.
But still, I agree with you. But here's the thing with Aubameyang. He won us that cup, and he was really successful in Emery's first year. Why? Because Emery and the way Arteta played in the FA Cup perfectly suited his strengths, which was he was going to stay deep and then break. And Aubameyang's 2 strengths are lethal finishing and pure speed. Moment Arteta,
you're a striker. You get a chance, finish it. Doesn't matter where it is. Get a chance, finish it. That's a striker's job.
I agree with you. Aubameyang is lethal. But the moment Arteta tried to go towards the Man City style, the possession-based style, where Aubameyang has to drop a bit deeper, like when you see Haaland, for example, sometimes, where he has to shield the ball, build up the play. He became useless still because you take him out from the penalty box.
No, he wasn't useless. He was coming to training late. He had a fallout with Arteta. He fell out with the club.
That's not true. He was poor before the fallout still. He was poor. I'm an Arsenal fan. Please don't argue with me about Aubameyang.
Dude, I think Aubameyang's the best striker you've had in the last 4 or 5 years.
I agree with this. But for the system that we want to play, Aubameyang is not suited to it still. We all saw it.
But Stefan, a good striker like Kane, doesn't matter who the manager is, what the tactic is, he scores.
Exactly. Yes, but wait. But Kane can stop the play. He can build up the play. He can make passes. He can create chances. Aubameyang cannot do any of that still. You take him away from the penalty box.
I agree. Richie can't play the way Kane did.
Can he create still? Can he take? Yeah. And Adrian said about Son. That's not true about Son. Son can dribble, cut inside, or cut with his other foot and shoot and score. That's not.
Son gets too much grief from our fan base. Not Adrian, but he gets too much grief.
Son for me He's not Christian Eriksen, or he's not.
He's not Harry Kane though. But Son isn't Kane though. I think Kane's better. That's just my view. I mean. That's a different debate. We're not going to have that tonight.
But Kane, my thing is Kane. Yeah, but Kane, when he has to drop back, Kane can drop back. He can spray passes. Aubameyang, the moment you take him away from the box, and Arsenal are struggling, like today. Everton were in your half, I would say, for 60 to 70% of that game, and you were struggling. The moment you tried to pin it towards Richarlison, the amount of times he lost the ball, including for the key foul which led to the goal. People forget that because they want to praise Richarlison.
that Kulusevski panicked and should not have fouled him, but the guy who lost the ball and started that sequence was Richarlison. So
Stefan,
he lost.
to be fair to Richarlison, though, right? To be fair to Richarlison, and I'll open up the debate for everyone here. To be fair to Richarlison, I don't think Spurs as a team have played well in months. Since that Chelsea game,
Debacle.
I can only think of 2 games where I look at Spurs in the face and I say to myself, "You played well." I don't think we played well against Brentford. I think we were more clinical.
Okay, guys.
I don't think we played well today.
Bye, guys. See you guys. Thanks for having me on.
Bye.
So I thought maybe we played. I thought we played well against Man United, and I thought we played well against Newcastle. I don't think we played well against Man City in the cup. I don't think we played well against Burnley in the cup.
Still, it was all in
I wasn't
stealth.
impressed with
The Brentford game, we won it. Hold on. In the Brentford game, we won it in a 5-minute spell. I see what. Yeah, in a lot of these games, it was more spells rather than an overall performance.
No, but Charlie, do you know what it is? You know the start of the season, the first 10, 12 games, whatever it was. If you look at us, we had every game 70% possession. The other team had 30. We'd have 20 shots on goal. The other team would have 6. We'd have 10 on target. The other team would have 3. We'd have 3 clear-cut chances. They'd have 1.
Yeah,
every game was like this, almost. Now, we've got more possession still, but shots on goal, equal, or we've got less. Shots on target, equal, or we've got less. Clear-cut chances, it's less every game. And XG is massively down. Like, the possession we had at the start of the season was very effective, and the attacking stats proved it. It was very effective. Now the possession we've got, it's like the Wild West.
Just because the
it's
players,
so dysfunctional.
It's the players, though. It's the players. At the beginning of the season, we had a full starting 11 that were our ideal starting 11 players. Since then,
we say wait till
Madison went down
wait till
injured.
Van de Ven comes back. They're back, and it's still the same.
Van de Ven went down injured. We lost Udogie for a few games. We lost Romero for a few games. They came back. Then they
basically the whole rhythm was disrupted.
Hold on, even though they came back.
I mean, for Christ's sake, guys, we had Davis and Emerson centre backs.
They came
Davis and
injured.
Emerson centre backs. What's it?
Hold on, they came.
But now we've got Van de Ven and Romero, and we're just as bad.
But that's why you got to let me finish. I'm saying that they're all coming back from injury. It's been a few games now, but I don't think that, I've seen Van de Ven until today, actually, where I've seen him really, putting in, the work rate and the tackles and the pace that he had before he went injured before, like that. I haven't seen the last few games. I don't think that Van de Ven has been at his best. Finally, today's game, we started seeing the Van de Ven that we saw before he got injured. So I think that it has a lot to do with the
even our passing is
there.
choppy. Even our passing isn't crisp. It's not. We lose possession badly, and these aren't hard passes. Do you understand?
No, I agree with you, but I'm saying that a lot of it has to do with our players. They were not all there, and there are players that were coming in and out of the team. The original, 11 that we had at the beginning of the season, they got into a good rhythm because they were playing together pretty consistently. They were there, playing usually the full 90. Sometimes, some of them would come out at the 70-minute mark or something. But they were pretty much all playing together, building that chemistry. And then now they don't have it as much. They're bringing it back.
Explain this to me then.
Basuma and Sarr are all gone. They were all gone. And those are some players that were playing at the beginning of the season that had the chemistry.
Explain this to me then, Cube. Explain this to me then. Why do we go to Man United and we put in a brilliant passing possession performance? Why is it we do it at Old Trafford, but yet Burnley at home, Bournemouth at home, Brentford at home, we can't string 10 passes together? Why is that? That doesn't make sense to me.
It's because of the consistency with the players. If we have our full 11, that are our starting 11, and they are all fit, not just coming back from injury after 2 games, all fit and all playing a successive run of games together, then I think that we would hit our stride again. I'm not saying that is something that is even possible, because you're going to have injuries at some point in the season. You're going to have players being out. You're going to have to bring players in and out of the team. So we have to solve for that because our squad is not deep enough. But It's just that when we have that starting 11, everybody there, everybody fit, then we really kick on. It's just that that's not really going to be something that's possible for the entirety of a season, and that hasn't been something
I saw us go to Man United, and I thought we looked so good.
I guess what you're saying is it's a lack of rhythm in the starting 11. Adrian, hold on. I guess what you're saying is, CQ, it's a lack of rhythm. Like there's no consistency. 1 minute this player's there, next minute they're missing.
Yeah,
it's lack of rhythm. There's no consistency or rhythm.
Yeah, it's rhythm, it's consistency and chemistry with those players. All fit our best 11 as well. You know, we all know that those players we feel like are full, pretty strong. We have some issues with our forward line, I know, but like other than our forward line, they're pretty strong. So I think that's why we were kind of buzzing in the beginning of the season. And actually, I also at that time, people don't actually talk as much about the fact that I don't think that some of the other teams in the league were as competitive during that time. We know that Man City kind of had a slow start. They usually have a slow start as well. Liverpool was strong, but they weren't completely kicking on quite yet, too. And, Arsenal was starting a little bit stronger, but then, they fell off because, they do that because they bottle things. So, but I'm saying that like some of the, Newcastle was not having a strong start. They haven't been good ever since, really. But even before their injuries hit at the very beginning of the season, they had a really tough run of games. Like some of the competition, Brighton had a really strong start in the very, first like 2 games, and then they fell off. They had, a lot of them had a slow start in the very beginning of the season. We were one of the ones that had all of our players. We had all of them fit. We had everybody kind of kicking on. And then when the Chelsea game hit, everything just collapsed.
Oh my God.
And we just had so many players out, and that's when everything went into free fall. And ever since then, now we're getting players back, but we're trying to build back to where we were at that point.
It's very difficult.
It's very difficult for us to build back there and get all the players on the same rhythm again, fit, charging, all of that. Especially with Ange.
I don't agree with the fact. Sorry,
you have to be so fit for Ange ball. You have to be able to run like crazy. You have to be able also because of the amount of passes.
I think you need to be technically gifted. I think you need to be a technical player.
The amount of passes that they make with each other, right? How many passes and how smooth the passing has to be.
Technical, good decision maker.
It's a little bit like
that, you have to have chemistry. You have to have chemistry and be able to have the rhythm with the people that you're playing with. And when we have that many players coming in and out, we're not having the rhythm and the chemistry of that anymore either.
True.
It's a bit like Bielsa kind of with the fitness and stuff. But also, I just wanted to add something. So with the whole Richarlison thing and stuff, I don't know if everyone will agree with me on this, but I actually think in terms of going forward, I think as a club, we're okay with Son as our main striker. I think Son through the middle is okay. And I think he knows he can finish. We know he can finish. So I think him being down the middle is good. What we need...
What if he gets injured, Charlie?
No, hold on. I'm saying, assuming everyone's fit. What we need is more on the wide areas. That's the bigger issue. For me, if I'm gonna give you an example, on the left, I'm not saying this exact player, but we need a player in the profile of Rafa Leao on the left, and on the right, 100%. We need a profile of a player. We need a profile. No, hold on. We need a profile similar to Jeremy Doku at Man City. They're the profiles of players we need in wide areas, especially for Ange Ball, because they like to hog the touchdown. They like to use the width. They have pace, and not just pace, but more importantly, physicality to actually bully their way past the opposition, outdo them for pace, and actually, can get round them. And that not only can they finish the chances, obviously, but they can also get into positions where Son will have loads and loads of tap-ins because they can beat the men and square it just like that. So I'm saying the biggest issue for me in terms of the forward line is out wide. We're okay if we put Son down the middle.
I agree.
We just need 2 wide players that will actually drive through and have physicality and pace.
I agree.
I think we players like Kvaratskhelia
whatever
and Chiesa.
Permutation Ange is used, apart from Burnley away, when Solomon played with 2 assists for Son, you know, and Kula was playing and he was in form. He's suffering a bit with form now, right? That's about the best we've looked as a front three. I haven't seen us look better at any other time. I'm glad Richarlison's sort of coming good. Hope he maintains it because like his future at Spurs depends on it, doesn't it? Let's be fair. Like other futures depend. But we haven't just got an 11. We've just got 11. We have got more than 11. Because in midfield, I mean, you can pick 4. You can pick Bentancur. You can pick Sarr. You can pick Maddison. You know, not so much Højbjerg or Skip, right? But, you know, we've got 4 other good quality midfielders. We've got 4 other good quality midfielders there, right? So you can add them too. And if you say a back 4, well, actually, it's a back 5 now with Dragusin, right? And we've got a good goalkeeper, right? It's up front. It's up front, and it's a problem. Inconsistency. That's our problem.
But Adrian, we've got no cover for any of those players.
We've not had a team for injuries, and those that are coming back, we've all thought still. What we've all thought is like, hopefully, like, oh, Bentancur come back, he'll hit the ground running. This player will come back, he'll hit the ground running. And midfield will show the same class they showed in the first games of the season, the first 10 games of the season. It hasn't happened because they're not up to speed, they're not fit. And Johnson would never have got the game time he's got if everyone had been fit. He would have been drip fed in that side so he could develop. Not that you should have to develop a £50 million player or a 40 million.
He's 22 years old.
I know, I'm not arguing with you there. But like, you know, you're paying that money for a player, he should be oven ready, shouldn't he? And we've looked at him for 2 years. We've looked at him for 2 years.
Yeah.
Listen, Murray, you carry on. I've got to go. I've got work, bro. I've got work and stuff. Listen, peace. Thank you, everyone.
Bye,
we'll speak soon. Everyone in the chat. Love you all. All of you that hate us, you're going to get blocked. One by one, you're going to get blocked.
Great.
Just final thoughts on this game from everyone. I will go. It's just it's a game that it was almost. I felt like almost the same reaction with the Brentford game. The only different is that we pulled it out. C Cube's last point is a good point that now as everything gels back together, we're trying to get back to that first 10 games back level with the club as people return. I stick to what I said the last stream is on which was Thursday or Friday that I believe because of just where we are in the league right now, and I mentioned this earlier that even 5th wouldn't even get us Champions League.
Yes.
It depends.
Yeah, it depends.
It depends on Liverpool and Man City. Either one of them just needs one of them to. Because I don't see any Serie A team winning the competition. So
Bayern is competitive, I think, now, especially now. Spain. They've been playing well in the UCL and
Well, it's against Serie A. Serie A team.
Serie A is underrated. Don't underestimate Inter.
Yeah.
Don't underestimate.
Inter got to the final.
And I'm telling you, Inzaghi, the manager, is a genius. I'm telling you. Look,
I wouldn't put my money on them in the Champions League. But whoever is left over from Serie A in the Europa League, maybe if Liverpool doesn't take it seriously.
Milan and Roma.
I think with Sonny coming back and we have a stretch of games that we should be the favorites until mid-April. And mid-April is where we play a gauntlet of teams. I say with Sonny coming back,
Murray, mate.
that might be enough.
Murray, mate, that doesn't bother me at all. And I tell you what, it doesn't bother me. We'll have such fresh legs. The teams we've got to play in the April scene are always going to be involved in Europe. They're going to have to play strong teams if they want to win them competitions, right? We won't. We've got the fresh legs. We're like Arsenal last season, right? No European football, no domestic cups, right? And if we can't do it from this position, then we don't deserve it. Simply.
Yeah. And like I said, in regards to the game, kudos to Richarlison. His patch continues on, 2 goals, but the midfield has to play better. They have to help out the defense.
It was shit.
And set pieces, we have to defend better. We just have to defend better. Just plain and simple. Charlie,
Vitoria's got a man up. He's got a man up.
Charlie, your last words for today?
Yeah. First of all, thanks for having me on, Mari. Like I said earlier, first time back on this channel for a while, so it's great to be back.
Good to meet you, Charlie.
Good to meet you too. Yeah.
And
I mean, look, yeah. The game is what it is. I think we've kind of covered it enough and stuff, but yeah, honest, real talk. Good to be real set as it is and stuff, and yeah, great show, and looking forward to the next one. Again, all the panel, fantastic. Good to stream with you guys, and yeah, good show.
Spurs passion.
Yeah, I'll go next. So, yeah, I mean, it's really, I said this already in the very beginning, disappointing result. We should have done better. We really, I think that we were poor and we should have done better. And especially disappointed with our midfield. Some allowances there because some of them are coming back from, not being totally fit and everything. But, I think that it's good that Richie scored. I think that he could have scored more. If our Timo and if Mads actually was more fit, Richie would have scored more. And Timo actually was contributing to some creation. So what I didn't say at the beginning of this is I definitely back Ange, but I don't agree with the substitution he made in bringing Timo off for Hill. I mean, I understand maybe taking Mads off because maybe he's still coming back from injury and he, was still maybe struggling fitness wise. So I'm like, fine, I don't really know what's going on there, but I could see that being the case. But Timo, he shouldn't have taken Timo off. So, and replaced him with Hill. And then it sort of looked like we were never going to score again after that when we really needed another goal. So, but overall, I so far haven't been, I don't know. I don't feel like we're winning anything this season. And what I care about is winning. So for me, I don't really, I'm kind of numb to it. I feel like I don't get, unless we are total embarrassments, I don't get as angry anymore because my expectations are not super high.
Do you know what it is, CQ? Like, now we're out of the cups and stuff, which I'm gutted about. All the Prem games, I'm not like, like you get really nervous and stuff, I'm not really feeling that same nervousness, because we're not going to win anything. I don't know if you're the same or anything.
Yeah, no, that's exactly how I feel.
Sure, you're in top 4 though, don't you?
I mean, here's the thing. If we get top 4, which, yeah,
it is what it is. We've been there before.
Yeah, if you're going to get but if you're not going to get a trophy, obviously top 4 would be, desirable or ideal. That being said, I don't know what we gained so much about being top 4. I mean, yes, we get to see them play in the UCL, but at the same time, we don't have the squad, depth to actually be able to do well in that competition or even be able to do well in the Prem and the UCL when we have to play both. So if we were to get top 4, which I do think that we're competitive for, I do worry if Levy does not make good signings and back Ange that we will be in deep shit next season. Because that is actually what ended up happening under Conte. I know that people don't, have an issue with Conte or they don't think that he was, I don't agree that with everybody on everything about it, but he wasn't the right manager for us and I understand that. But what did happen is he got us top 4. And then the following season, we thought that we were going to get reinforcements and it was going to be really good signings. And it didn't really kick off that way for various different reasons. And we really struggled because we had UCL and we had the Prem and we had the Cup games all at the same time. And we did not have enough squad depth and we started to really, really struggle. I mean, look at Newcastle. And Brighton, and I'm not saying that we're on the same level of them exactly, because I do think that we have more experience in Europe than they do, of course, but we don't have a strong enough squad to make it, through a season like that. So I don't know. To me, would like to get top 4. That being said, if we don't get top 4, it could be a blessing in disguise. If we are actually trying to build on a project, that would, in theory, be maybe a blessing in disguise, as long as Levy backs Ange and makes signings.
Well, it comes down to money.
CQ, sorry, Adrian. One thing. I'll say, just to add on to your point, CQ, about Champions League. I always say this: if you're going to be in the Champions League, what's the point in even being in it if you're not going to try and build a team that can compete for it? Like, what's the point? I say this about every tournament in football. What is the point in being in it if you're not going to actually try and take it seriously and win it? Like, what is the point? You know, and you're right, CQ. If we're going to be in the UCL, we actually have to build a team that can compete for the UCL trophy, you know, because otherwise, what's the point in being in it? You know, that's kind of how I see it. So,
well,
Yeah,
we've
but
got
hold on, I wanna-
others under
I just want to mention somebody in the chat.
FFP, because we can actually spend, even though we probably won't. I think the last financial expert I looked at, I went and asked, was like, we are still, we was over the like 400 million, but we bought a few players. So I think it's like, we can spend, I think it is about 276 million if we've got that.
Adrian, that's a whole other conversation.
Hold on, but like
I know it is.
You know,
But depending how we are, see, the thing is, like, we need to know how we're positioned at the end of the season. Now, we're all looking at like, oh, we get a game today, it's 2-2, everyone's disappointed, a little bit disheartened, stuff like that, and all that. But, you know, if Richarlison kicks on to the end of the season, Parrott keeps banging in goals for Excelsior, and, you know, hopefully Velez does the same at Sevilla. I mean, this is all hopeful stuff and probably dreamland stuff, Disneyland, right? But if it were to happen, suddenly we're saving a fortune, and we're in a very good position before we even go into the market for another midfielder and a left back that of quality. I hate the term backup. When you're Tottenham Hotspur, the 8th richest club in the world, and they talk about backup, that really grinds me, right? Grinds my gears. So, you know, so a left back, a midfielder, and a striker, if our other strikers don't hit forward.
Something else I want to point out. Hold on, because I do recognize that if we get top 4, we do have money coming in when we get top 4. So in theory, we would be able to have more money to spend. In theory, if we got top 4, I don't think that Levy will do that and actually take that into consideration. But I'm just saying that I recognize that's the case. And then somebody in the chat did mention, it was a different changing room back then. Sure, of course, there was a different dressing room under Conte, and there was a lot of issues in the Conte dressing room under him. So I'm not saying that us having multiple competitions under Conte was the sole reason why we struggled, you know, last season. But I do think if you look at the fact that under him, at one point we had no forwards on the bench at all. We were playing an injured Sonny up top in a 2-top with Kane. And this season, we've had times where we had no defenders and we had no center backs, and we were having to play fullbacks as center backs. We had, you know, we think, you know, not a strong enough, or some of us think not a strong enough forward line as well. Imagine if we had the injuries that we had, Madison injured, you know, Van de Ven injured, all those stuff. Imagine if we had 4 competitions right now this season with all of that happened.
We'd be finished.
We'd be finished.
Yeah.
So that's my point. My point is that it could potentially be a blessing in disguise, in the sense that I don't think that if Levy is not going to adequately back Ange and we are not getting strong reinforcements, I don't think that our squad can deal with top 4 next season.
Not the greatest result for us today, but I hope Spurs fans are enjoying what Ange is trying to do, because I've enjoyed this football this season, right? It's been hit and miss, right? It's been sticky at times, like today, you know, but it's been, I'm loving it. I'm loving it, you know, but like, especially what I had to see under Mourinho and Conte and the Toadstool merchant, you know what I mean? The Smurf on the Toadstool.
Adrian, I know this is a whole other conversation, but I just want to say Conte football isn't as bad as you think. I'm just going to say that.
You was obviously a fan of him. I wasn't. I know. Listen, Charlie, respect.
No. This is a whole other conversation.
No conversation.
But
You get the last word.
Mourinho and Conte, I always knew they were going to end up badly, and I always knew they were going to be a disaster for us.
I think it's night and day. The football club, the difference between us now to last season, it just looks a happier football club. You know, even the players that aren't playing, they seem to be buying into what Postecoglou is trying to do. So I think the future's bright. I really do, and I think the future, if we do get top 4, top 5, or whatever, I think we've got a manager and we've got a recruitment team that are aligned. So they have a list of players that, for example, Conte wanted Bastoni. Bastoni was going to cost best part of 70 million. Now, I'll guarantee you, if we'd have offered Van de Ven, Conte would have said no, because he wasn't the profile of player in his mind that he wanted. He wanted someone that plays for a big club. You know, the CV is up here, and it would have commanded 60 or 70 million. So there are gems, there are unearthed diamonds that I think this new recruitment team will look at, which won't cost the earth, which will make us competitive. Is it enough to win trophies? That's for the future. But I think we are in sync. Budget, manager, recruitment, we're all in line in what the type of player that we're looking for. So going forward, I'm hopeful. Whether we finish the season in the top 4 or top 5 or top 6, I think we remove some of the players that are out on loan, regenerate that money into signings, and I think the future is bright.
If we can regenerate any of that money, because definitely a lot of those guys on loan.
We've been very busy.
If we were ambitious, we would just take the loss on them, to be totally honest, and just,
Yeah, potentially. And yeah, sorry, go on, Adrian.
Go on. We got 3 players in, right? A young Swedish kid, Werner and Dragusin. We cut the wage bill with Kane, Perisic, Dyer, right?
Lloris.
Pointed out, right? And Lloris, right? Then on loan, you're looking at Spence, Tanganga, Roden, Regular, Phillips.
Hold on, a lot of these guys we should have just given away, just cut losses.
And it works out that in this window, depends how you want to market overall or just on signings in. In this window, I think we have actually got out, right, something like 15 to 16. If Matthew Curry went as well, I'm not sure if he went to Scotland, that would be 16 players. We've done deals for 16 players. We know the 3 we got in. We know the 3 mains we got out, the Dyer, Kane, Perisic, right? Right. So, like, the others are loans and stuff like that, or existing loans, So, I'd give it an 8. I'd give it an 8. I really would.
Look.
And people laugh at me. On other podcasts I've been on and said, we'll give it a 4, give it a 4. Well, fair enough. If you want to be like that, be like that. You know what I mean? But no, I still think it's an 8. We've still got a lot of work to do, because when we get these players out permanently, right?
Of course we do. And that's the thing. And I'm just going to pick on what Cube said earlier about getting players back is one thing, but there's a difference between being fit and match fit. So you can see with Maddison, you can see with Bentancur, they're not match fit.
Yeah.
So it's almost like they're playing pre-season now. This was the first game that you saw the afterburners of Van de Ven. The first game, the Man United game, he looked very creaky. He looked very hesitant.
Yeah, he very leggy.
Very, very hesitant. He's almost like he didn't.
Charlie
trust
mentioned
his
I think he pulled up with cramp at the end.
Which is a valid. So I think he's a superb player. I think Bentancur's a fantastic footballer.
So the thing is, it's that match sharpness. You don't get that match sharpness till you're playing in matches. So this is where this dynamics of Basuma and Sarr, it's going to take a period of time for those guys all to get up to the level of what they were in August and September. But I think we're going to surprise people. I think we're going to finish the season really strong. That doesn't.
But don't
I'm not
you
saying.
think, Matt? Can I ask you a
Pardon?
question? Can I ask you a
Sure.
question in regards to something that I had said? I want to ask you because you're very optimistic about this, and everybody they're getting fit, and the end of the season finishing strong, and but would you say if we got top 4, would you say that wouldn't be very challenging for our current squad if, let's say, we don't make like a lot of signings, right, coming into this coming summer and stuff, right? If we were just making 1 or 2 signings, or we were just, keeping the same kind of squad, we would be really struggling next season with all of those competitions. I think that we definitely benefited and kind of got away with being able to not be in as many competitions this season.
Yeah, I think it's a blessing in disguise. And I think that the whole point of this recruitment team is to recruit. So, if we finish in Europa or the Champions League, there's no excuse. There's no excuse. Postecoglou has put us in a position where we're in touching distance. We're in touching distance of being a major force in all competitions. So there's a few positions that need to be replaced, and that's in the current squad, and that's with the players that are out on loan. So, yeah, I will it be the total replacements? I don't know, 7, 8, 9 players. I'm not so sure about that, but I think we will make clever signings in the summer that will make us more competitive. In my opinion, I'm very hesitant to say we're going to win a league, we're going to win a cup. I just think we will be closer to where we need to be winning trophies by the end of next transfer window.
I agree.
I
agree.
I am starved, so I gotta have my dinner.
Have your dinner?
Yeah. I mean, I was, Janice, big up Janice, is like, you're munching on munching. I'm like, yeah.
Invite Mari. Good to meet Charlie and Matthew. Right?
Yeah.
And you, thank you.
Yeah, no. I'm glad to hear you speak because I'm so passionate. I could go on forever. You know what I mean? So.
No, carry on. You carry on.
Well, we are going to end the show. Anybody? Except for Adrian, who has his channel, but Charlie appears on ours. But is anybody having an extra show this weekend?
I'll be on TJ's show tomorrow.
I don't know if you guys use Facebook, do you?
TJ Warren TV. I'll be on there. I know it's a Gooner channel, and I'm definitely not a Gooner. The reason why I'm going to be on there is because I want to mud them when they lose. When Liverpool spanks them. I am going to mud those Gooners so hard.
Oh, go on, thank you. Do it.
Check us out at TJ Warren TV. We're going to do a watch-along, which I probably won't be doing because it's too early for me, but I'll probably be on the match reaction. And let's hope for a win for Liverpool so I can absolutely 100%. Mud those fraudulent Gooners.
If Liverpool win, I'll definitely watch to see.
And please invite Stefan if Arsenal lose. Please invite him.
He'll be asleep. That's what he always will be like, I overslept, and he won't show up.
Well, if anyone's interested, I run a little group for like 13,500 Spurs fans on Facebook. So we're mainly basically what we try to do is feed sensible content from good tier reporting, basically, right? Because I want to have people post crap. If they do, they just get kicked. But so Spurs diehards, you'll find us on Facebook. That's if people use that media. I mean, like a lot of people don't. They just use YouTube. That's fair enough. You know what I mean? You do your own thing. What makes you happy? I'm on Twitter as well.
What's the name, Adrian?
It's like Spurs. You see under my name, Spurs diehards, TTID. And then there's actually a space dash You'd Army. But if you post that in there, you'll find it, right? Yeah, so it's mainly like all the news feeds I get, I just try and post on there with the other admins. I've got 13 other admins there because we got a lot. I sort of like one admin per 1,000 members, like basically. So yeah, so it's cool. I'm on Twitter. I think I've got about. It grew quite quickly actually. My only just come back because I was like, sorry, mate.
You're a very popular man, so it's growing.
Don't know if I'm popular or the group's popular, to be honest with you, Maury. Like, but it's not important. I mean, as long as fans like the content or whatever, you know. I mean, like on Twitter, ex-Twitter, always it's 3,000. I think I've got now. Like, so like it's okay. I mean, it's cool. Like, I try to post facts basically most of the time. So like, and well, been going 4 years. So like. I think that's the reason like the Facebook group, not the Twitter group, obviously, is like progressed basically like, but you know.
Yeah. Well, guys, we are going to take off. I know it was sour 2-2, but we did get a point. And so I can still say, come on, you Spurs.
Thanks for the invite, Maury. Great to meet you guys, right? And see you as well. Yeah.
See you soon.
All right.
Bye.
Come on, Spurs. Leave you out.
Bye.